now, get 0 down and 0% APR for 60 months, plus save up to $3,000. Now through December 31st. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. It's Fireball Hot Take Friday, and Caroline Fenton is in parts unknown. Hello, Caroline.
Yes, I am. I am currently in place. I'm a mysterious woman today. I am MIA today.
Yeah, well, you got to realize you got to hit the mute button. I don't want to knock on you, but when we're in the studio, you struggle with hitting that red button, and then
I've gotten better. I've gotten better about it in the studio because I think that you have made fun of me enough times on the air for me to learn my lesson. But now I'm in a new environment, so we got to relearn the mute button trick.
Okay, there
we go. It is a
go.
tricky little button.
So we got Caroline. Ian, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So I was thinking today, and I think everybody knows, well, I don't know if I've shared this. I'm a very high anxiety person. I think you guys know that, right, Ian?
I don't know. It doesn't, not always, I wouldn't say.
Caroline, you think I'm high anxiety?
100%.
Okay, I am a very high anxiety person. When I wake up in the morning, like I am the most anxious person on a daily basis, and it really starts about, what are we going to talk about at 2 o'clock? Like that is the first thing. I wake up around like 6:30, 7 a.m., and it is like, what are we going to talk about at 2 o'clock? And then what are we going to talk about at 3 o'clock? What are we going to talk about at 4 o'clock? What are we going to talk about at 5 o'clock? And usually, sometimes it's pretty easy. Like a Titans Monday, have a pretty good idea what we're going to talk about. Today, I woke up and I was like, what is the 2 o'clock today? Is it the Titans, Monday Night Football against the Bills, or is it the Vols? Because I think this is a pretty big game for the Vols against Ole Miss. And I decided we're going to talk about them evenly today because I think they're both big. But ultimately, based upon the brand of the radio show and the fact that the Buffalo Bills might be the best team in the NFL, and the fact that even though Sunday night is the new Monday Night Football is not what it used to be, it is still Monday Night Football. So we're going to start on that. And I was thinking about the Titans and the Bills. And Jason Fitz was on our show yesterday, ESPN Radio. We all know Fitzy. We all love Fitzy. You know, Fitzy's a local Nashville dude, but he's a national guy. He is a national radio and national television host. And I asked Fitzy yesterday on the program about how he felt about the Titans and the Bills, because a lot of people have been coming up to me saying that, you know, oh, hey, what do you think about the Titans this week? And I've said, you know, like, I don't know exactly how to feel. I'm not totally sure. And I've talked to some people that are like, I think we're going to get him, Jared. Chase McCabe. I think we're going to get him, Jared. But I also have tried to be as logical as possible, looking at the number one offense in the NFL, the number one defense in the NFL, and thinking, can the Titans, who haven't played a good game so far this year, really compete with that Buffalo Bill team? Fitz was on our show yesterday. National guy says no.
I think the Buffalo Bills right now are the cream of the crop in the AFC, and their offense looks almost unstoppable. So, you know, the Titans are going to have to put up a bunch of points. That's just real. They're going to have to put up a bunch of points. I'm not sure they can do this. I want to believe in the Titans in this instance, but I think Buffalo is separating themselves quickly. The win over the Chiefs, I think, is as much of a statement about how good the Bills are right now. And Josh Allen is doing, Lamar Jackson-like things, but he's a better thrower, and it's just hard to stop him right now. So I think Buffalo rolls in this, and this is one of those games you survive, and then you say, okay, kind of like the Olympics where they take away your best score and your worst score. Like, this is going to be one of those take away the best team that they play and the worst team that they play, and you get a better idea of who teams really are. I think the Bills are in that best team category right now.
So Fitz is saying, look, I want the Titans to win. I'm trying to find a path for the Titans to win, but I just don't think the Titans are going to win. And you heard, it's all about Buffalo. He thinks Buffalo is that good, and that's how most people believe. I think Buffalo's, 5.5-point favorite on Monday night? I get it. I understand. But I was thinking about this today. 2 weeks ago in this exact same spot, I was sitting in this chair, and I told all of you, I am scared to death of the Jets. Scared to death of the crappy, stinky, no good, haven't been good in 20 years New York Jets. And everybody said, well, Jared, calm down, you know what? And I said, this is the deal. When you have a Mike Vrabel Titans team, you are going to get the victory that you do not expect, that comes out of nowhere, that, as Jason Fitz just told you, he can't see a path for. But you're also going to get a loss to the Jets. You're also going to get a loss to the Buffalo Bills 3 years ago when Josh Allen wasn't very good. You're going to get a loss to a bad Texan team or a bad Jacksonville team or a bad somebody, because that's just the way this works. And it is mind-numbingly frustrating when you lose to the Jets with 7 sacks. But it is invigorating when you beat the Buffalo Bills like you did last year on a Tuesday night with no practice after your entire team got COVID and nobody in the country thought you could win. So when you go to a restaurant and you walk in there and you go to a place that's famous for their meatball sub, and you know that everywhere else has a meatball sub, but it's not as good as this place. You go in and you're like, I want the meatball sub special, because that's the specialty of this restaurant. The can't see it coming, the no clue that it's going to happen, the nobody expecting it victory is the Mike Vrabel special. You all know me. You know there's a lot of things Vrabel does that drive me bananas. Absolutely drive me crazy. I still think he's a good coach, but there's a lot of things that just, again, that Vrabel does as a coach that I can't stand. And yet, here we are, getting ready to play Buffalo, 5.5-point underdogs. Jason Fitz says doesn't see a path. Josh Allen is playing like Lamar Jackson, but better. They've got the number 1 defense in the NFL. Their average margin of victory is 29-10. They've shut out 2 teams so far in 5 games. Throw out their stinker in week 1 against Pittsburgh. And again, week 1 football is usually kind of odd. The Buffalo Bills are the best team in the NFL. And yet, it's the Mike Vrabel special. You go in there and you dial it up. And somehow, some way, Blaine Gabbert beats the Houston Texans with no offensive tackles. And those were the good Texans. Or Marcus Mariota and Corey Davis beat the New England Patriots. Or you go to Dallas on Monday night and embarrass the Cowboys. It's something about Vrabel, and I can't put my finger on it. And as I said, over time, these things are going to balance out. Because if you win this game, then you'll lose at home to the New Orleans Saints. Or you'll lose to the Steelers, or you'll lose to the Patriots, or, God forbid, lose to the Dolphins. Like, you'll lose one of these games. I'm telling everybody out there, you will lose one of these games. If you win on Monday night, you will lose one of those other games, and at some point in the year, we'll be grabbing our hair out saying, how could they lose? But that's the Mike Vrabel special. And I'm not saying that they're going to win on Monday night. I can't go that far. But does it not feel like Monday night is setting up for the Mike Vrabel special? The top opponent, no one is giving the Titans a chance. The Buffalo Bills have knocked off Kansas City and have to be feeling good about themselves. Everybody's picking Kansas City. All the money's going in on Kansas City, Buffalo. All the money's going in on Buffalo. It just seems in the NFL, it just seems like you always get these surprise games. I told you all a couple weekends ago that the Titans are playing the Jets, the Patriots are playing the Bucs, and the Packers were playing somebody. And I was like, these games are going to be closer than you think. Titans lost to the Jets. Patriots were a field goal away from beating the Bucs. Like, this isn't college football, where we know that Georgia's going to steamroll Kentucky tomorrow. This is the NFL. So Caroline Fenton, Ian Safar, I am banking on this Fireball Hot Take Friday that I think the conditions are right for the Mike Vrabel special. Caroline, I know you haven't been around enough for the Mike Vrabel special, but I'm sure you've heard about it enough. Do you think the Mike Vrabel special is a legitimate possibility on Monday night?
Do I think it's a possibility? 100%. Because, like you said, I haven't been around here long, but so much of the conversation going into the Seattle game, and at this point, we still thought that Seattle was one of the top teams in the league. We thought it could be. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but the Titans do crazy things like that. They win games that they are really not expected to win. So I absolutely do think it's a possibility. But I have to think a little bit more with my head here and say, the Bills are legitimately the best team in the league right now. And the Titans don't look anywhere near like the best team in the league right now. I think in order for that to happen, the Titans are going to have to play their best football they have played all season. And the Bills are going to have to make some costly mistakes and look like a version of themselves that they haven't looked like so far this season.
See, what's crazy about the Vrabel special, though, is you're banking on that, right? Like, they're going to have to play the best game they've played this year. Right. That's what the Vrabel special is. Yeah. Like last year, the Titans defense was atrocious. When they got the Vrabel special on the Tuesday night against Buffalo, they picked off Josh Allen 3 times. I mean, it was crazy because they won that game on national TV. And I want to say it was like 42-16 or something. And I had actually picked the blowout the other way. And people were all over me about, oh, what do you think now, Jared? What do you think now? But they picked off Josh Allen early in the game. And they were just on fire in the red zone in that win of Buffalo. And it was one of the more complete games that they played that year. That's the thing about the Vrabel special is it's not like when the Titans win on a Vrabel special, it's because things that don't make sense happen. Now, the Texan game was a little different where Kevin Byard threw a touchdown pass to Dane Cruikshank, and they got a Jadeveon Clowney 15-yard unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and he wasn't even dressed for the game. He was on the sidelines, and they got that 15-yard penalty that moved him into Ryan Suckup range, and they kicked a game-winning field goal. But you go back to some of the other Vrabel specials, especially last year against the Bills. You go back to that game, and the Titans played mistake-free football, something that, they were on fire in the red zone. They turned over Josh Allen. They got off the field on third down. I mean, they were good. They were better than they played most of last season in the Mike Vrabel special game. The problem, though, is there are some times where, even with Vrabel the coach, they still just get outmatched and outmanned because they're not good enough. And an example of that would be the Sunday night game against Green Bay last year, where they played a much better Green Bay team. But I am not, Fitz is just totally ruling it out. Totally ruling out a Titans upset on Monday, saying he just can't see the path. I can't totally see the path, but I can see this being one of those games that the Titans win that you just don't expect. And I don't know what it is about the Titans. I don't know if the Titans are like every other team in the league, but there is something about the Titans that they play a game like this, and somehow, some way, they find a way to win. So I'm not ruling it out for Monday. I know it's weird, and we'll make our picks later today. But I am not ruling it out for Monday, but it would have to be something that is pretty extraordinary that they pull off on Monday night. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's get it started. 615-737-1025. And that's the question we're starting with today, which is, do you think on Monday night that the Titans can pull off a Mike Vrabel special, just like they did on Tuesday night a year ago when they beat Buffalo? Now, Buffalo wasn't considered to be the best team in the league, but they were pretty good, and the Titans didn't practice in 2 weeks, and they still found a way to win. 615-737-1025. Plus, Mike Vrabel says no to a question that was asked about this Bills game that I think in reality the answer has to be yes. We'll get to that coming up next here on Stillman & Company. Fireball Hot Take Friday, 615-737-1025. FanDuel Sportsbook, my official sportsbook app. The NFL Week 6 is here, and FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every play. That's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every single week. All you have to do is bet a same-game parlay with 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. Titans and Bills on Monday Night Football. I think let's go over in yards for Derrick Henry, over in yards for Josh Allen because he may have a field day on this Titans defense, and over in points for the entire game. There is no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay, so lock in your bet today on the FanDuel Sportsbook and get up to $10 back if your bet doesn't win. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, sign up with the promo code JGM to also receive a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code JGM so they know that I sent you. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same-game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Titans, Bills. Monday Night Football returns to Music City. Tune in Monday from 5 to 7 for NFL pregame with Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard. Live from Rock Bottom Brewery and Restaurant on Broadway.
This is October football.
They're going to come out and have to protect Tannehill.
The coaches know a lot more than we do.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Family Leisure invites you to relax at home this fall with all our indoor products on sale now.
Enjoy the movie theater experience with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets start at only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $14.99 as well.
30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $14.99 install.
Family Leisure has above-ground pools ready for immediate installation.
Outdoor and wicker furniture. Huge selection still in stock.
Family Leisure's Relax at Home sale.
Antioch and Franklin.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, has a path to a dignified career. Are you a skilled electrician or lineman? Tired of dead-end, low-paying jobs? Local 429 is accepting applications for highly skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. IBEW Local 429, the best training and training the best.
Rock Bottom Nashville is Broadway's original brewery, where all brews are brewed on site. Josh Rappaport is Rock Bottom's brewmaster, creating fresh craft beers where peak flavors are always the rule. Grab one of their blockbuster beers to pair with their nachos, pretzel bites, and delicious flatbreads. They even have group catering. They boast one of the best views of downtown Nashville and is a short walk to Titan Stadium. And enjoy happy hour Monday through Friday afternoons from 2 until 6. Rock Bottom Nashville, 111 Broadway.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and let me tell you about my friends at Curation CBD. If you're like me and have aches and pains all over your body and you've been searching for a solution, well, I've got it. It's Curation CBD. Curation means healing, and that right there says it all. Curation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here from Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sell, Curation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use for athletes and for pets too. Order yours now at CurationCompany.com. Curation CBD, curated for life.
The 2021 Major League Soccer season isn't over yet, Nashville. Are you in? There are just 2 regular season home matches remaining as we make our final push for a playoff spot. Don't miss the action on Wednesday, October 20th at 7:30 p.m. against the Columbus Crew. Or catch the last regular season match of the season on Sunday, November 7th at 2:30 p.m. against New York Red Bulls at Nissan Stadium. Come be a part of the most unique sports experience in Nashville. Tickets are on sale now from just $22 at NashvilleSC.com. Everyone in.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Their run defense is third ranked in the league. What are some of the things that stand out when you watch them?
Yeah, they're third ranked for a reason. Even looking back, like I think 2019, 2 years ago, still got some of the same guys who played together for a long time, who know the scheme very well, who does great in the scheme. Have a lot of experience from top to bottom, so it's a really good defense.
There you go. That was Derrick Henry talking about, hey, they still got a lot of guys, good defense, third-ranked rush defense. Buffalo, number 1 offense in the NFL, number 1 defense in the NFL. They are the number 1 team in the NFL. I know the Cardinals are 5-0, but they are the number 1 team, in my opinion, in the NFL. Number 1 offense, number 1 defense, star quarterback, good defense, well coached, good general manager, solid roster, tons of Pro Bowlers everywhere, the number 1 team. And not only that, can't really compare yourself to Arizona because, well, we've already watched the Titans play Arizona. So if we want to use that as a measuring stick, it's probably not a good sign. Now, I do want to get to this. Mike Vrabel was asked earlier in the week, you're playing the Buffalo Bills, the number 1 team in the NFL, on Monday Night Football. And Vrabel was asked whether or not this game was a measuring stick game. Here's what Vrabel said.
You face a team like Buffalo who's playing as well as they are. It's very hot. Do you see it as any kind of a measuring stick, or is that something that you don't even concern yourself with?
No, I mean, I think every week, in this league is a huge challenge. I know that comes off sometimes as just doesn't make sense, but it is. And it's learning a new scheme. It's learning a new set of players and a skill set. And, hey, what these receivers do, what these guys, bread and butter plays are, and what scheme plays you think you might get. So every week is a challenge, and none bigger than this one with the way that they're playing and the confidence level and, what they do. It's a very good football team.
Do we believe that this game is not a measuring stick game, that in the NFL it's a week-to-week league, and even if you beat Buffalo this week, it doesn't mean that you're one of the better teams, and then you still got to get ready for Kansas City the next week? Or do we look at it and say, if Buffalo walks in here and puts their foot up your rear end like you did to them last year, then you're maybe not a good team, and if you can beat the Buffalo Bills, then you are a good team? Caroline.
I mean, it's true in that the NFL is very much so a week-to-week league, that the weirdest things can happen, and I think what we've learned so much this year is you can expect the unexpected. Teams have beaten teams that they're not supposed to beat. I mean, the Giants beat the Saints. The Jets beat the Titans. Those are teams that are not supposed to beat the teams that are the caliber of the Titans and the Saints, no matter what you think about the Titans and the Saints. Weirder things have happened in the NFL. So I do agree with Vrabel in that, but it's hard to call this game not a measuring stick game, because if you get totally housed by the Bills, are you just going to take that and say, oh, well, it's a week-to-week league, so we could be just as good as the Bills, but that week the Bills just happened to show up and the Titans didn't. That doesn't make any sense to me. This very much so is a measuring stick game. If the Titans can play the Bills close, if the Titans can beat the Bills, I think that says a lot about the potential about this team. I think it shows us that, okay, some of the bad things that we've seen from the Titans are the exception, maybe not the rule. But I think it takes us one step closer to figuring out exactly what this team is. And it absolutely is a measuring stick game.
So I think it's a measuring stick game, but I also go back to last year's game. Buffalo was the second best team in the AFC. The Titans absolutely put a whooping on them, and it didn't matter. So it wasn't like because the Titans in October of last year put a whooping on Buffalo that carried them throughout the course of the year. I mean, I guess it made us aware that our focus should not be on just the AFC South, but our focus was on the AFC South at the end because they were right there with the Colts, and they had been to the AFC title game the year before, so it wasn't like we didn't think they could compete in it. I guess I kind of see it like They blew out Buffalo last year, and it didn't have a major effect on the season or the schedule. So would blowing out Buffalo this year have a major effect on the season or on the schedule?
Well, I don't think this game is going to change the trajectory of what we think the Titans' postseason aspirations are. I mean, I think where we stand right now, it feels like the Titans are in a comfortable place to win the AFC South. Where I am right now, I don't think the Titans make a deep run in the playoffs, and I don't think that one single game is going to change that. But I think that if the Titans can beat the Bills, that shows us that the Titans do have something in them to be able to beat some of the top teams in the league. So it's not going to completely change my mind on what I think this team is. It's not going to completely change the trajectory on the rest of the season, but I think that it's a feather in the Titans' cap that they really need right now, because we've said it before and we can say it again. The Titans haven't really played a good, complete game yet.
Let's kick it around the room. How good do we think the Titans are? Like, as far as, like, if we think Buffalo's the best team in the AFC, which I do, how good are the Titans? Like, if they were to, compete with the best teams in the AFC, where would you put them, or what kind of fight would they give against, like, the Ravens or the Browns or the Chargers or the Chiefs or the Bills? What kind of fight would you put against those teams, Caroline?
So out of Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, Browns, those 5 teams, I mean, I think I would put the Titans 6th behind those teams. I mean, I would put the Titans above the Steelers. I'd put the Titans above the Dolphins, but I would put them below kind of those top tier teams that we just named.
Ian?
I think I would agree. I think I would probably put them in the last of that, probably in that tier. I think they definitely could keep it close and put up a good fight.
For sure.
And if they play up to their potential, I think, I just struggle with the defense. When you play good teams like that, I struggle with being able to slow them down. And that's one thing, this week versus Buffalo, if they have a, good defensive performance, I think that could really maybe help some momentum, assuming Josh Allen doesn't completely just turn the ball over a bunch. So I don't know. I struggle trusting the Titans defense against some of these top teams to slow them down at a reasonable pace without having to score 35 points.
So here's the thing. I don't think that if the other team plays their standard game, I don't think the Titans can stop Allen. I don't think they can stop Mahomes, though I'm not sure that Kansas City defense can stop the Titans. I mean, that's going to be kind of the interesting element of next week's game, is I'm not sure Kansas City's defense can slow down Tennessee. That you could give it to Derrick Henry on every play, and I'm not sure the Chiefs can do anything about it. But that's that discussion. I don't think they could stop the offense of Cleveland. I don't think they could stop the offense of the Chargers. I think they could hang with Baltimore. That's kind of where I guess I would put it. But if they go out there and they beat the Buffalo Bills, then wouldn't that raise the optimism level that they could beat a Browns or beat a Chiefs or beat a Chargers?
For sure. And I think that's exactly why this is a measuring stick game. Because at this point, I mean, like I just said, I think they're below the tier of those teams, below the Chargers, below the Chiefs, below the Bills. But if they beat a Bills team, then that shows you, the Titans can hang with the big dogs. Are they as good as the Bills? Maybe not on paper, but they can at least hang with them.
615-737-1025. We'll get to your phones next on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Plus, there is one thing that I was hanging my hat on for this game that I'm not sure I can hang my hat on. We'll get to that coming up on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Let me tell everybody about my official movers, TriStar Moving. I did move a year ago. I can't believe I almost said I almost moved a year ago. It was almost a year ago that I moved. In fact, a year and a day that I closed on my current house, which I absolutely love. And when I closed on that house, I started to have to make plans for moving. And it's like, oh my goodness, you close on this house, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, what am I going to do moving-wise? It's such a pain in the butt, but not with my friends at TriStar Moving. Like most people, I hated moving, but not anymore thanks to TriStar. They made the entire process so simple, and that's why their motto is TriStar Movers with 5-star service. From the initial phone call to the final signature, moving was a breeze. They offer home protection, so they cover your floors, banisters, railings, door jambs, and even the doors themselves. They are always upping the game when it comes to mover training. All of my furniture, everything was wrapped perfectly and protected, including my TVs, which are placed in protective boxes. They have a brand new state-of-the-art storage facility in Mount Juliet in case you have got to use that. Their owners, Garrett and Robert, are true Nashvillians, and they care about helping their hometown. Their company is the real deal and on the rise quickly, all due to the higher standard they hold, which I can back up because I use TriStar Moving. So give them a call, 615-640-1219, or visit that website, nashvillemoving.org/radio, where they'll give you 5% off your entire move. That's TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, nashvillemoving.org/radio. Tell them Jared Stillman sent you. You'll get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Forsberg in the circle. He scores! Philip Forsberg! What a rocket! Saturday night, Philip Forsberg and the Predators take on the Hurricanes in a playoff rematch at Bridgestone Arena. Pre-game at 6, face-off at 7 on Smashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use only. Down payment may be required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Your home value is way up this year, and with mortgage rates back to all-time lows, it's a great time to call Loan Pronto. Refinance now and get cash out of your home's equity. Hey, it's Willie Donick. Loan Pronto can refinance your loan at a super low rate. They can pay the closing costs for you and get you a bunch of cash out. How does $40,000 or $50,000 sound? Don't just sit on that home's new value. Use it. Use it to pay off credit cards. Use it to consolidate other debt. Get rid of PMI. Use IT to make your home even more valuable with that home improvement project you've been dreaming about. Loan Pronto's all-digital platform makes it fast and easy. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Ask about the Loan Pronto zero-cost cash-out refi. LoanPronto.com, 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Zero cost option not available on all loans.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy-only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value, for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, X-ray results vary.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Hey Nashville, Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee here, inviting you to tune in on ESPN 94.9 every Monday at 6 p.m. for the Commodore Hour, providing you with exclusive insights on Vanderbilt athletics.
Hey, this is Philip Forsberg. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Like that game against the Bills was so strange last year in the build-up and unprecedented, not practicing and all that. Number one, why do you think you guys played so well that night? And did you take anything from that moving forward in the weird preparation that was kind of forced on you?
I mean, I think the players just really took advantage of the opportunities. They threw us a couple. One off the receiver's hands. We caught it. We scored a lot of short fields. When you're able to get 3 turnovers and not have any on offense and then get another one on kickoff in a short field, I think you take away that's the magnitude that turnovers can have on a game, whether it's statistically they had more yards or they did that. And as far as the preparation, I think it's just, there was a lot of focus, I felt like. I think that there was an unknown, but I think that there was a great deal of focus in how we had to handle and how we had to prepare for that situation.
That was Mike Vrabel talking about last year's game against the Buffalo Bills. That game, I think the Titans even had less of a chance. I mean, no practice for a week. The NFL says you're going to get like one walkthrough. We'll clear whoever's out there. You're playing on a Tuesday night on national TV on CBS. And I remember being like, oh, goodness gracious. Oh, no, I don't know what they're going to be able to do. And I picked a Buffalo blowout. And I felt pretty safe in picking a Buffalo blowout. And then the Titans just poured it on. Now, you heard what Vrabel said right there. They threw us one. Ball goes off a receiver's hands. We intercepted that. We're working with short fields. Tannehill was awesome in the red zone. He kept talking about, we just knew the way we needed to prepare, which reminds me of all of the drama. And I would say, honestly, probably the last, controversial is probably not the right word, but the last real stand that Floyd probably ever took on this show, which was all of the insiders around the country, the Schefters, the Glazers, the Florios, the Rappaports, that were saying that the Titans were cheating and skirting the COVID protocols. And, I mean, they all said it. They all went on their Sunday shows, and they all said the Titans were breaking the rules, and the Titans were not wearing masks, and the Titans were not distancing, and the Titans were not testing. And Florio came on the show and said that he talked to an executive in the league who told him that his estimation was a suspension for the rest of the season for both John Robinson and Mike Vrabel. And when all the same guys are saying all the same things, you'd think it might have to be a little bit of truth to it. And Floyd would not take the bait. And Robinson had a press conference where he stood up against it. And next thing you know, the Titans got like a $250,000 fine maybe, and nothing else. And they played the game on a Tuesday, and they smoked Buffalo, and they just absolutely crushed them. And I was a little hopeful that maybe you could have something similar, Buffalo feeling high and mighty, but Chris Sanders was on our show Wednesday, and he says Buffalo's going to remember that butt kicking.
I guarantee you that they circled this game. I mean, because it's not about just getting revenge. It's about proving that you're the best team in the NFL. And this is a stepping stone to see where the Buffalo Bills are at, because everybody's saying how great Buffalo is and how great their offense is. They're number 1 in offense. They're number 5 in defense. They got Emmanuel Sanders. They got Diggs. They got a tight end. They got Moss. They got all these things. They got a good front four with Oliver, Edmondson, and Rousseau, and all those guys. Everything is pretty to set up for a win, but they're not looking at that. This is a hungry team now. I mean, you better believe after they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, their head coach walked in and said, hey, I understand we beat Kansas City. I understand we beat the brakes off them. But we got to go to Tennessee and get back after those guys on what happened that Tuesday of last year. So, man, hey, I'm going to tell you something. I can't wait to see this game on Monday night because it's going to be absolutely a barn burner, buddy.
And I'm a little worried that Buffalo is going to be fired up after last year's game. Just a little bit. After the way the Titans embarrassed them on national TV when Buffalo was supposed to go in and do the embarrassing. In fact, I remember, this is my old house where I had the setup upstairs with the 2 televisions next to each other before I was kind of told like that was a bad idea. So I remember upstairs, the Braves were playing the Dodgers in the NLCS. The Titans were playing the Bills on Tuesday Night Football. And I literally was like staring at one TV. Okay, strike one. Okay, second down. Okay, gain of 3. How do we get to 2-1 over here? What am I missing? Okay. How'd they get to the 36? And
See,
it
that's
was
the tough
hard
part
to
about
watch.
watching so many games at once is like you were looking at everything and you're not actually digesting anything that's going on.
So Michael Pope, a.k.a. Sturgill, who is no longer with our team, but great guy. Michael Pope told me that he could tell listening. No, I think it was Ian. It was Ian or Pope. I forget who. Maybe it was you, Ian, that said that you could tell during the pregame show that I wasn't paying attention to Chris and Floyd because I was looking at the television during the Braves in the NLCS. I think it was you, Ian, because you were listening.
It was either that or a different football game at one point. It was the Buffalo game where Josh Allen fumbled weird against Houston. I want to say maybe.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah, that was Floyd.
And
that was
Chris.
Floyd in that playoff game when we're trying to do like the Titans and the Patriots are getting ready to play in the playoffs, and they have the Bills and the Bills and the Texans playing before the Titans play the Patriots. We're at Boomba's in East Nashville, and I'm like, hey, pay attention, guys. We're trying to do a pregame show here, and it's like the end down to the wire of that Bills and Texans game, and Floyd and Chris are both just staring at the screen. Like if you're looking at me on the stream, this is exactly how Chris and Floyd were watching that. It's like, defense? Oh yeah, we got Brady's good. What? Oh yeah, McDaniels might make some. Like guys. Let's go.
Let's focus here.
I know that feeling. Let's go to your phones. Phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Caroline, what do we have in the text line?
One texter texts in and says it's hard to be a measuring stick game when not everyone is healthy, and also you don't know what we will have at the end of the year. So if it's nowhere near the same teams at the end of the season, how can we use it as a measuring stick game?
So I understand the point about the nobody being healthy, thing. That you don't know. I think this is what he means. You don't know in January who's going to be healthy and who's not.
I thought about that. It is early in the season to be maybe using this as a true measuring stick game because the teams will be a lot different in 5 weeks, let alone 10. So I think it's a good point.
Titans lost to the Carolina Panthers in 2019. And Joe Rexrode wrote in The Athletic that there was no chance that team could make the playoffs. And they ended up in the AFC title game, and they beat a lot of teams that were a lot better than Carolina. I mean, this is a week-to-week league. Like, I think everybody would be just jazzed up if the Titans beat Buffalo on Monday night, and they should be. And I think that would be a huge feather in the cap as far as the division and Indianapolis is concerned. Because Indianapolis, like they play the Texans on Sunday, they absolutely have no margin for error. So all these bad teams that Indy's going to play, the Texans, the Jags, the Jets, all those teams, they can't lose a single one of those games. Because if they do and you steal one, it's over. So they can't lose a single one of those games. But if you take a Bills, as long as you don't give it back, and we know the Titans sometimes like to give back a little bit, as long as you don't give it back, it's going to be hard for them to catch up to you. And that's all about them. Really doesn't have a lot to do with you. But I think if you can win the second Indy game and you can steal one of these Chiefs or Bills games, I don't think Indy has a shot to catch you in the division. What else we got?
Another texter texts in and says, I have a good feeling about Monday night. I think the Titans will beat the Bills and the Chiefs and then let the Colts beat the Titans.
Gosh, I hope that's so not true.
I mean, if the Titans put themselves in a position, let's say what the texter said, the Titans beat the Chiefs and the Bills. Is a Colts loss the worst thing in the world?
Yes.
Would you
Indianapolis?
Would you prefer to beat Indianapolis and drop games to Buffalo and Kansas City?
So I'd have to draw that out on the map, right? I'd have to look
You'd have to break things down.
Yeah, what does that look like? Because the one thing that a Kansas City win and a Buffalo win would give you is if you win the division, now where do you sit in terms of the hierarchy of the AFC?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fair question to ask. 615-737-1025. We'll get back to your Titans thoughts. But coming up next, Predators last night. And I told you at the end of the show, and I didn't want to say it because I knew fans were driving to the stadium And I knew that they didn't want to hear on their way in to get excited for the season. They didn't want to hear me say, I think the Kraken are going to get it done tonight. Kraken got it done last night. By the way, did you see the fight in the stands last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my God. Are you living under a rock?
Well, I was driving.
This guy's got on pink underwear. He's getting in a fight in the stands. And I thought
what's
the
wrong
Preds
with the
guy,
color of his underwear? Let the man wear whatever underwear he wants to wear.
I thought the guy in the Forsberg jersey in the pink underwear kicked the Kraken fans' butt. Not that I'm for that. I'm against it. No fighting in the stands. But
if you're going to fight, good win for the home team.
You know what, though? Steve Lyons, who once accidentally dropped his pants when he was on first base and then everybody laughed at him for it, Steve Lyons said that his mom always told him you should always wear clean underwear because you never know when it's going to. My man was wearing pink underwear yesterday in the crowd. Anywho, I got a thought on the Preds game that I'm not sure Preds fans wanted to hear last night, but I think they'll be willing to hear today. I'll explain that coming up next. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. It goes down so smooth and it tastes so great. There is no better way to ignite the night, ignite your weekend than with ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. They got a lot to celebrate. Got the baseball playoffs they have to celebrate. Some of our teams are going to be playing for the whole thing. Got to celebrate that. Got Monday night football tailgating. Got to celebrate that. Got a wedding this weekend. Shout out to Nikki and Adam. Got to celebrate with that. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey goes down so smooth. Get your Fireball Friday going. Ignite the night. Please do responsibly. Be 21 years or older to enjoy Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Our window of concern is going to be this afternoon and evening for strong to severe storms. Main threats will be damaging winds and localized flooding.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
I sing country music. I call myself true modern country.
Let's run away.
Grayson Michael is a rising star in country music. He also just got engaged with help from Genesis Diamonds.
I got a ring twice as big as I thought I was going to be able to get.
Grayson shopped other stores, but nobody could beat Genesis.
The value was insane comparatively to what I looked at other local jewelers. There was just absolutely no comparison.
But beyond the price, Grayson just loved the experience at Genesis. The relaxed feel, the education.
Not pushy at all, which I really liked. You know, most of us guys, we don't really know a lot about diamonds. They help educate you so you can decide what's important to you and what's best for your purchase.
He ended up with a spectacular Henry Dawsey designer ring that his fiance loves to show off.
When people compliment her ring, I always say thank you.
Genesis Diamonds.
It's just unmatched. The price, the quality, and the service.
Where Nashville gets engaged.
Genesis Diamonds is the only place you want to go for your diamond purchase. They'll take care of you, and you'll take care of your lady.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Mortgage rates are on the move. Don't miss the chance to lock in the best rate of your lifetime with my friends at Loan Pronto. Hey, Willie Donick here. Call Loan Pronto today and take advantage of their super popular zero-cost refi program. So many people are doing this. You can get a rate with an APR in the low twos with no junk fees, no closing costs. Yes, they pay your closing costs, even if you refinanced 6 months ago. Loan Pronto's all-digital process is fast and easy. Virtually no paperwork required. And most loans get closed in 14 days. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now and start the process. Don't wait on rates to spike again. If your current APR is over 2.75, call now for a free 30-second quote. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans eligible for zero-cost option.
The St. Jude Rock and Roll Running Series Nashville returns to the Music City, November 18th through 20th. You don't have to be a runner to enjoy the excitement of Nashville's premier downtown race. Come help your community as well as the thousands of runners by volunteering. With over 1,000 positions available, there's a spot for everyone. Head to NashvilleSports.com for more information and get a free t-shirt when you register to volunteer. We'll see you there.
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
Would this be a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day?
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curation CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game in the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
11 seconds remain. Johansson and now Duchesne. Duchesne is shot blocked wide. Yossi tried to throw it back in front. 4 seconds remain. The puck comes out to the blue line. Gronlund to try. That's blocked. And the Seattle Kraken prevail and win their first ever game as an NHL franchise. 4-3 is the final here tonight.
I thought in the first period we didn't get off to the start that we wanted. I thought in the second period there were more pockets of how we wanted to be able to play, and then I really liked the third period where we were able to get to our game. So I think that's, there's some things we can take out of the first, and the penalties don't help, where you wind up having to kill so much right off the bat and get out of the rhythm. But I thought competitively we got better as the game had gone on, and then as I said, I thought the second period there was a few pockets of that was where we wanted to get to, and then I thought in the third period we did a good job, but it wasn't enough.
There you go. That was John Hines yesterday. Predators 0-1. The Seattle Kraken win their first ever game last night. And I was at the stadium last night. Great crowd. Exciting to be back, and it felt so normal. Last year when I went to the first game, there were pockets of fans here, pockets of fans there. Nobody, everyone had to wear a mask inside the building.
Everyone masked up.
And it was just so different compared to last night's game in my seats, watching the game, having a great time. I had a great time last night at the game, loss aside. Not that anybody cares about that element of it, but.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you. But I thought yesterday there were a lot of fans that left the stadium unhappy, as fans will always leave the stadium unhappy whenever you lose. But I thought there were fans that really looked at the way they played last night and thought, they didn't have the fight inside of them, or they didn't start putting, their foot to the gas until the third period, or what have you. And I just have a couple of thoughts as I just analyze 1 out of 82. But the one thing I will say, Caroline, you know me, I will not get you excited for a game like a big game. This one is a big game, and then them lose and me say, well, it was 1 of 82.
Big deal.
But my thought on last night's game was this. First off, the first line, the Johansson, Forsberg, Duchesne, they look like they're playing hard, and they look like they'll score some goals this year, and that's fine. Again, are they going to be first-line wingers in the NFL or a first-line unit? No. They're not going to be that. What the Jofa line was at their peak? No. They're not going to be that. Are they going to be able to hold their own against high-end competition in the NHL for the course of the season? Yes. And I thought that they played hard last night. So I like that. The fourth line, the Herd line, Jeannot, Trennan, Sissons, those guys look like they literally picked up right where they left off. They were forechecking deep in their own zone, or in the Seattle zone. I thought they really got good puck control and some good looks too. I thought Trennan looked awesome last night. Mm-hmm. And so that Herd line that was really good down the stretch last year, that they decided to get rid of Calle Yarncroke in order to at least keep Jeannot a part of it. The Herd line looked good last night, and I got to give them credit there. Somebody said to me, how can the fourth line look better than the third and the second line? And I said, because the third and the second line are the young guys. Mm-hmm. And this is what you're going to get when you play the young guys. I try to explain this to everybody. Everyone in Chicago wants Matt Nagy to play Justin Fields. Guess what happens when you play a rookie quarterback in the NFL? You're not going to be very good. And so I saw Tomasino out there last night, and he was buzzing around a little bit. I thought, he looked a little weak with the puck, and there were some scoring opportunities that I thought that they kind of missed, and I felt at times like Hines was trying to mix and match. At one point he had Granlund with Cunnin and Cousins, and I think that's because he's going to do that a little bit to put Cousins up on that line, because Cousins is a veteran player and is right now, if you were to play a playoff game and you had to have the win, and the win was more important than developing young players, you would probably want Nick Cousins to get more ice time than Philip Tomasino. But to me, I want Tomasino to get the ice time. I want Tolvanen, who scored, by the way, last night. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
I want Tolvanen to be out on the ice. I want the young guys out there. What I don't want is freaking Ben Harper. Every time I look down at a goal, I see 17, skating with his head down, skating back to the bench. That's what I don't want. I don't want Ben Harper lugging around, falling down on the ice, and the other team scoring like what happened last night. I mean, goodness gracious. I'm sorry, Crispy. That guy sucks. But we're going to have to deal with it for the whole season probably. But this is this is what you need to see. I hate to say it in a loss because I don't want people to think that it's good that they lost or that there's a positive in the loss or that I'm accepting a loss. Or I don't want people to think that. But you got to watch the young guys play. That's what matters this season. Crispy said it yesterday when I asked him, what do you look for in these young guys? When something doesn't go their way, how do they react? That's what he wants to see. That's what's important this year. They lose to the Kraken. Seattle lost the first game, a close game on Tuesday night. I knew they were going to come in here. They don't want to start 0-2, and they've got some sea legs under them, real game sea legs, because they've already played a game. Yeah, I don't even really know what a Kraken is, but
it's like an octopus.
Yeah, it's not real. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons, stupid bullcrap kind of thing. Whatever.
Well, so is a Titan, to be fair.
No, so is a Predator. A Titan is real. A Predator is not.
A Predator is real.
What is the official animal that Nash is?
Okay, well, that animal is not real.
Okay, so
but, the concept of a predator is real.
Yes. Predators, an actual predator is real, but it is multiple things. A Kraken is not real. So anywho, the Krakens had already played that first game. They had got to me, I wouldn't be surprised if the Predators went on Saturday night. And I want to give the young guys a chance. Sometimes you have to take the step back in order to take the step forward. And if that means losing games like I did yesterday, I'm going to be okay with that. I really am. Does it make any difference to you, the fans, if the Predators make the playoffs this year, but the young guys don't get the experience? Or does it matter to you if they, don't win as many games, but the young guys do get the experience, and I need to see these young guys play? And I thought last night, they played okay. What do you guys think? We'll start with Caroline.
I think, there were very much so some communication problems. You mentioned some wide open net opportunities. Philip Forsberg had a nice little play drawn up to, it could have been a money shot right into the goal, never came to fruition. So there were some communication issues, and I don't know if it's, first game jitters or first game just got to knock off the rust a little bit, but that's kind of what it looked like, just not completely polished. But I 100% agree that I think the worst thing that this Predators team could do is try to overcompensate for the young guys and sit them on the bench and put some of the veteran guys in, even if they're not the top players on the team, sit the young guys and let the experienced guys go in, because I think almost a competitive rebuild is going to hurt this team in the long run more than it's going to help it. Sure, a competitive rebuild might give you a better opportunity at the playoffs this season and maybe next season, but getting the young guys out there and getting them experience, real game experience where the game is on their shoulders, this team's on their shoulders, that's how this team can be set up for a Stanley Cup 3, 4, 5 years down the road. So I don't take too much away from last night's game. UC Saros didn't look like he did in March and April of last year. He had some rebounding issues. So that's definitely something that I'm going to keep an eye on, especially since we know that UC Saros is a slow starter. I think my biggest thing moving forward, though, is, okay, they made some mistakes last night. Don't make them again. Learn from them.
Ian, your thoughts?
I guess overall it was a little underwhelming. They thought they kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start. They got the first goal, which was always good, but then after that, I don't know, just wasn't really doing it for me. And then, they made some mistakes, and I just wonder, with some of the young guys making those mistakes on those, whether it's Tomasino wandering around a little bit too much, or Ben Harper or Fabro,
Harper sucks, dude.
Are they just gonna, have a longer leash with that kind of stuff as far as mistakes go with the younger guys? And, getting off to a slow start and trying to push at the end, it's just not going to be enough. And, on opening night to start out kind of slow is a little bit disappointing.
I mean, it certainly was disappointing that they lost. I guess I'm not really overly surprised that, like, the young guys are going to make mistakes. I'll say this for Fabro, and I've said that, they're going to have to figure out what he is. Because he's young, he's got the body, he's got the skill. You heard Crispy talking about it yesterday. And, it just seems like for 3 years now, it's like dumb mistakes by Fabro. Just, they got to stop. And I've been a big Fabro supporter. But, it's got to stop. But, again, I'm not going to get too worked up over the first game of the season, especially considering that Seattle already has a game under them. You don't. So, I just want the young guys to play. 615-737-1025. We'll get to your phone. 615-737-1025. Plus, we'll hit the headlines with Caroline. We'll do that next. Plus, did you guys see the check swing last night? Oh, my God.
Oh, that was a bad call.
We'll get all into it at Fireball Hot Take Friday. We'll continue next. Corey Curtis later next hour as well. Invigorate Health. My guys at Invigorate Health. InvigorateHealthTN.com. If you feel old, if you feel fat, if you feel out of shape, if you just feel down about yourself and you want to feel like you did when you were 25, talk to my friends at Invigorate Health, InvigorateHealthTN.com. I actually went into Invigorate Health. They said, hey, come on in. We'll put you on the body scanning machine where I'm telling you, I have never figured out any. This has the exact percentage of my posture and things that are on, things that are off. You get a total and complete body composition analysis, how much lean muscle mass you have, how much fat mass you have, and then you can go from there. They can take your blood and they can see where your levels are and what you're deficient in, and they've got the M-Sculpt Neo, which I actually played around with yesterday. I put the paddles for the M-Sculpt Neo. It's a $450,000 machine. I put it on me. And they said, okay, we're going to put it up to about 50, 60%. And what it does is it vibrates with heat and that electromagnetic light, and it burns fat and it gains muscle. And they put it at about 50%. And I was like, okay, 60, 70, 80. I got to 100%. I did. It is intense, but it's definitely well worth it. It certainly doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's non-invasive. They've also got hormone replacement therapies, IV treatments, you name it. Invigorate Health. InvigorateHealthTN.com. Go see my guys. If you feel old today and you're just trying to lose those pounds, InvigorateHealthTN.com. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
I don't know how you could watch that performance and think that there was anything positive about it.
The voice of the fan.
The performance was a D-.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey Nashville, it's Jared, and there's a new go-to for home furnishing. Social Furniture on the West Side is independently home-owned furniture store in Nashville. Forget the big box store. Shop local, shop social.
It's football season, and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. Their sofas with recliners are push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99. Sectionals with chase lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are plus leather, microfiber, and there's no waiting, and take home your new motion furniture today or with their same-day fine furniture delivery. Social Furniture has no down payments and no interest. You don't want to miss out on their best lifetime guarantee motion furniture sale going on now.
Shop local, shop social, 5412 Charlotte Avenue near White Bridge Road, and tell them Jared Stillman sent you.
It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron. Head to the website or use your mobile device and bring the game home with betonline.net.
Trust the roofers with integrity. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local Nashville roofer with over 90 5-star Google ratings and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. While roofing is our business at E2, honor is our code. For roof repair, roof replacement, free inspections, or insurance claim assistance, visit e2roofingnashville.com.
It's football season, and Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. If your AC or heater is old and inefficient, you can replace it with up to 60 months no monthly interest financing for qualified buyers. That's right, 60 months no monthly interest financing for qualified buyers. One of the many ways you can save at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They offer 6 months no interest financing available on repairs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, offering premium service without the premium price. Visit springhillac.com or call them at 615-778-8855.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 102.5 The Game. Titans injury report is out as the Titans get set to take on the Buffalo Bills. Corey Curtis will be by from News 2 with his thoughts. We'll get to that in just a second. The injury report for the Titans. Caleb Farley was back from his illness. He was a full participant. Christian Fulton, hamstring 2 days in a row. Christian Fulton did not practice. That's not a good sign.
Those darn hamstrings.
Monty Rice, groin, did not practice. Roger Saffold, limited with a shoulder. Tier Tart, full participant with a toe. Kari Blasingame's got a shoulder. He was limited. Taylor Lewan, full participant with a toe. Jeremy McNichols with an ankle did not practice today. That is alarming. Chester Rogers, full participant with a groin today. Saw him at the game yesterday. A.J. Brown, full participant. Bud Dupree did not practice. So he was full yesterday. Bud Dupree did not practice today. Julio Jones, full participant. Nick Westbrook-Akina, full participant for the Titans practice as they prepare for the Bills on Monday. So I guess that's probably good, but there you go with that. I do want to hit on this before we get to Caroline's headlines, and we'll get back on the game with Corey Curtis. I watched the National League playoffs yesterday, and I watched the Dodgers play the Giants. And I got home after the Predators game, and I flipped it on, and it was extra innings, and I see the base hit to go ahead, and I was kind of rooting for the Giants because I think the Giants are probably the worst of the two teams that would play the Braves, though either team's probably better than the Braves. But I'm watching this way. And I'm watching the game, and I see the check swing that ended up being strike 3. The first base umpire rings the guy up, and as soon as he checked it, I got up and I said, no, he did not, and that umpire, got him. And I thought, when you just looked at it, in standard time, it did not look like it. And then Ron Darling, to his credit, calling the game, Ron Darling was like, I don't think he went around. They showed the video of it. The guy barely even broke. I mean, the wrist didn't break. I mean, he barely even brought his shoulders through the zone. I mean, didn't even bring anything through the zone. I mean, it was a crazy missed call. Awful missed call. And I do wonder this. We have replay in sports. And I just don't understand what the point of replay is. And I understand they don't want to review every check swing. But I don't understand what the point. Why not?
That was non-reviewable.
No, that's my point, though. Why can't we review obvious crap? Because every sport's got it where there's something obvious and we can't review it. The Braves had this the other day where the ball hit the dirt in foul territory. Guy from the Brewers caught it. They called him out. They showed the replay. Ball clearly hits the dirt. Dirt comes up in the air. And they said, nope, can't review it. Like, what's the freaking point of replay if we can't review stuff? And football has it too. I mean, they all have it. Every sport has something that's like, well, that is non-reviewable. Why? Why? If it's obvious, why is it non-reviewable? I don't know. Baseball, I thought yesterday, huge blunder. Again, I don't think that they should want to be reviewing every check swing because I get it. Because if you let it, like I think pass interference should be reviewable. I just think that the league was too soft and too afraid to criticize their own officials to be able to properly adjudicate reviews of pass interference. But I think it should be reviewed. And I think check swings should be reviewed. Now, again, not every time that a guy, breaks or doesn't break should we put the little headset on and have the umpires take that treadmill jog, which God knows they need. Take that little treadmill jog to the other side.
Quit body shaming the MLB umpires. We've been through
maybe
this.
If they lose some weight, they could be in position to see whether or not the guy swung or didn't swing. So they take their time to get over there, to put their little headsets on, and then they stand there looking around, and then they just come out and they go, out or safe. Well, maybe we we can add this in there and just say, okay, look, after the 7th inning, it's got to be buzzed in from New York or whatever, but we can't have what we had last night. Time now for headlines with Caroline.
We're spanning the sports world. It's Headlines with Caroline on Stillman and Company, right here on Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Oh, Headlines with Caroline presented by Firo Tequila, the spiciest infused tequila on the market. The world belongs to the brave. I'm looking at you like, go.
Thank you.
And
It's a Friday. You're off your game. That's okay. No, that's all right. But when we were just talking about the Dodgers-Giants game last night, although that last strike was just an awful call, we do kind of have to give credit for Max Scherzer, his first career complete game.
No, he didn't have a complete game.
And in my opinion, I think he just locked up the Cy Young Award.
Whoa now, Caroline, that's some wild stuff you just said.
Why?
That is some wild stuff. Max Scherzer pitched one inning
He pitched
in
a
relief.
complete...
No, he didn't. He pitched one inning in relief last night.
No, he did not. He pitched or I guess it was his first career close.
His first career save. But that doesn't count because it's the playoffs, and this isn't college football, so the statistics in the playoffs don't count. And also, not only that, the Cy Young voting's already over.
Is
They
it?
voted at the end
Oh,
of
well,
the
then that's my bad. Well,
Yeah.
then my late vote goes to Max Scherzer.
What about your early vote?
My early vote probably also would have gone to Max Scherzer.
Well, the early vote's the only one that matters. They don't vote on the playoffs, but go ahead.
Biggest story today in football, the Eagles traded Pro Bowler tight end Zach Ertz to the Arizona Cardinals today in exchange for corner Tay Gowan and a 2022 fifth-round draft pick, which I was a little bit shocked that he went for that low of an asking price. But the Cardinals lost their main tight end, Max Williams, for the season. He had a knee injury earlier this week. Zach Ertz has been in contract negotiation talks with the Eagles. They haven't really made up. Obviously, they didn't come to any sort of agreement for his contract, so it just kind of seemed like the perfect move. Zach Ertz was shopping around. The Arizona Cardinals needed a tight end. Just kind of felt like the perfect marriage there.
Ertz is I'll say this, for Philadelphia, I know of a team that doesn't have a starting tight end that's trying to use Jeff Swaim to be a starting tight end, which I don't really agree with. Perhaps they could use a guy like Ertz, but I'll say this, Goddard is so much better than Ertz. I mean,
Yeah.
Ertz is
And
done.
I think Zach Ertz knew that.
Oh, Ertz is done. And I think the Eagles knew that. What's next?
Well, and also Zach Ertz was a name that was thrown around so much around the time of the Julio trade because a lot of people were saying, hey, forget about Julio. Let's look at Zach Ertz. And then even after the Julio trade, people were saying, let's go get Zach Ertz. Let's go get Zach Ertz. But again, that's another guy that's just past his prime that the Titans, in my opinion, I thought he was going to be way more expensive than a corner and a fifth-round pick, but Arizona happened to get it done. But Christian McCaffrey with his third straight game on Sunday against Minnesota. It's his 16th missed game in 22 games under their new second season coach, Matt Rule. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury ever since training in the second quarter against Houston. So he was practicing earlier in this season, or earlier this week, in a limited capacity, but he was out of practice yesterday and today and was officially ruled out for Sunday. Matt Rule said he just hasn't been there yet. He's been doing everything he can. It's been 3 weeks, and we hope to have him out there next week.
I'll say this about the idea of hamstrings, which is you can't rush them back, but coaches and teams and fans want to. And I'm maybe worried about that a little bit around here, rushing back some hamstrings. But Christian McCaffrey, your number one ability is availability, and he's just not very available. He's not very available. Dalvin Cook's had some injury issues here and there. Saquon Barkley is never available. And it's not their fault, but if you can't stay healthy, I mean, what are you to your team? And that's where McCaffrey finds himself. What's next?
Last little NFL injury update. Tua practiced Wednesday for the first time since fracturing his ribs in week 2. He's placed on IR after the Dolphins lost to the Bills in mid-September. He's missed 3 games since. Brian Flores said the plan for Tua is to play Sunday against the Jags. mean, Miami lost all 3 games without Tua. Jacoby Brissett in for Tua as their backup, but now Jacoby Brissett is also injured with a hamstring issue. Again, another hamstring. He suffered that injury against Tampa Bay, but in Tua's only complete game this season, he threw for 202 yards, touchdown, interception, 17-16 win over New England. You said the best ability is availability. Tua's another one that hasn't been very readily available as of late.
I feel bad for Tua because I don't think Tua was ready given his injury for the position he was put in last year. And I don't think it's fair to judge Tua as a finished product right now. But that's exactly what the country is doing. And I don't know if the Dolphins are doing that or not, but all indications are that the Dolphins are pretty much ready to give up on Tua. And I think it doesn't help Tua that he's consistently going to be compared to Joe Burrow, but more importantly to Justin Herbert. And I look at this and I think, man, I think the Dolphins are ready to dump Tua. And they knew he had injury issues when they drafted him. I think that
they drafted him injured.
I think after this year, I think if Tua does, I mean, I was watching Albert Breer on Colin Cowherd today, and he was talking about how if Tua doesn't get it together this year, the Dolphins could dump on him. And, you know, we heard the Deshaun Watson rumors last offseason and even right before the start of this season, and I think Tua's getting a raw deal. And if I were the Titans, I'd pick up the phone if Miami wanted to get rid of Tua, and I'd say, well, you want to be the backup to Tannehill, you know, kind of get your legs under you and then go do your thing. Because I don't think Tua's better than Herbert or ever going to be better than Herbert or anything like that. But, I mean, I'm not ready to give up on Tua. Those are Headlines with Caroline. Headlines with Caroline presented by Firo Tequila, the spiciest infused tequila on the market. The world belongs to the brave. There, I remembered it that time. It's my bad. My bad.
All good.
Corey Curtis, News 2, his thoughts. Can the Titans pull the Mike Vrabel special? We'll get that next with Corey Curtis on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. FanDuel Sportsbook, my official sportsbook app. The NFL Week 6 is here, and FanDuel wants you to get the most out of every play. That's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every single week. All you have to do is bet a same-game parlay with 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, my friends at FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. I've told you, FanDuel is my official sportsbook app. Monday night, look for the over. Over for Josh Allen. Over for Derrick Henry. Over for total points. Over, over, over. And I'm not a big over guy, but overs. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay, so lock in your bet today on the FanDuel Sportsbook app and get up to $10 back if your bet doesn't win. New to FanDuel, sign up with the promo code JGM to also receive a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code JGM so they know that I sent you. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same-game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Titans, Bills. Monday Night Football returns to Music City. Tune in Monday from 5 to 7 for NFL pregame with Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard. Live from Rock Bottom Brewery and Restaurant on Broadway.
This is October football.
They're going to come out and have to protect Tannehill. The coaches know a lot more than we do.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You may have heard that Allstate has new low auto rates, but isn't it time to see for yourself? Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Hey Nashville, we think you deserve the very best driving experience, and now is the time for our Season of Change CPO event at Mercedes-Benz of Music City. When you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you're backed by the remaining new vehicle limited warranty. Once that expires, the certified pre-owned limited warranty goes into effect, providing an additional 12 months of coverage with unlimited miles. See all the perks and exceptional offers for your certified pre-owned vehicle from Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
There are jewelry stores, and then there's Genesis Diamonds, the cutting-edge industry leader, the pioneer. It's no secret that jewelry stores across America watch what Genesis is doing. Genesis was the first to offer a free lifetime warranty, the first to offer a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee, the first to offer aggressive long-term zero-interest financing. And Genesis is always on the cutting edge in design and fashion. The styles other jewelers say are new and exciting were new and exciting for us 4 years ago. Genesis has the fashion-forward brands other stores aren't even allowed to carry. It's no wonder you see jewelers from other cities coming to Genesis to see what we're all about, and even buy their wives' jewelry from us. For selection, quality, service, warranties, and guarantees, Genesis leads. Others follow. So for diamonds, engagement rings, exclusive designer jewelry for any occasion, don't compromise. Come to the jeweler that sets the industry standards year after year. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
1025 The Game has your chance to win Preds tickets all month long. Just post a picture of your radio dial set to 1025 The Game on social media and tag the game and use hashtag TicketDash to be instantly qualified. All brought to you by Social Furniture. Shop local. Shop social.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it, and that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Chris Brooks and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Stillman and Company. Hey, be sure to join us on Monday night. That's right, for the pregame show live from Rock Bottom Brewery downtown on Broadway. Mark Howard, Chris Sanders, yours truly. For the pregame show, it'll be 5 to 7. Leading into Monday Night Football at the Rock Bottom Brewery on Broadway prior to the Titans and the Bills pregame show brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, FreedomTireGuys.com, FanDuel, E2 Roofing, Hillside Medical, Social Furniture, and Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. I do wonder this. Everybody's picking the Bills. Vegas is picking the Bills. Fitz was on the show yesterday. He says he can't see how the Bills don't roll. The Mike Vrabel special. Premier opponent. Nobody expecting it. Everybody down on the Titans. Somehow they find a way. Corey Curtis, News 2, joins us in the program on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Corey, what are the odds that the Titans can pull off the Mike Vrabel special?
I don't know, 25, 33%, 1-4, 1-3. I mean, history says, that the Titans will play well in this game or at least have a chance. I mean, when they have played the best teams, just like when they played the poor teams, they've risen or fell to the level of their opponent quite often. I mean, you go back to last year, and they had the bad first half against Pittsburgh, but there's still a field goal attempt at the end away from sending that one to overtime. We can go over all the games where we didn't think they had a chance to win, and they somehow won. So it wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, I agree with everybody else. You can't reasonably pick the Titans in this game, but you also can't be shocked if they go out there and perform really well and do it because they have. I mean, that, like you said, that's the track record.
Corey, I look at this game and I would say this. I think Buffalo is the best team in the NFL, number 1 ranked offense, number 1 ranked defense. The Titans are going to have to play their best game of the year to even be competitive with Buffalo. And yet, I kind of feel like they will because this is what the Titans do. We lose our minds when they play down to their opponents, whether it's the Jags, the Colts, or the Jets. But a team that plays down to their opponent also plays up to their opponent. What do you make of that as far as why the Titans are that way and if it continues on Monday night?
Well, unfortunately, I think it's somewhat of a lack of team, I guess maturity would be the word that I would use, because I bring this up, I think, every week, and I'm going to bring it up again, where Vrabel talks about playing to their standard and establishing their standard. And that way you're playing the standard every week instead of playing an opponent. And that's what Belichick was able to do so well in New England. Those New England teams played the same way every week, no matter who they were playing. And that's what Mike is trying to establish right now. And it's hard to do. Not many teams are very good at doing it. I mean, like I said, look at Baltimore. I mean, they lost in Detroit. They just got lucky by a horrifically bad call by the officials. I mean, everybody does it virtually. Very few teams are able to avoid that trap because we see bad teams beat good teams all the time. And so you have to have that culture rock solid, carved out in stone, and the right people to execute it in place. And that's what they're always striving to do. And until then, you go up and you go down a little bit. But, I expect them to play well, and I agree with you. I think they will play their best game of the season. I don't know if it'll be enough to win, but I expect them to. We've got our keys to victory we do every week, and this is a week where you can't hit one of them or two of them. You got to hit them all. I mean, you got to hit them all to beat this team. This was my best team in the league coming into the season, and it's my best team now. They have played like it. They obviously had the hiccup week one, and we can go through all the numbers we want of number one in this, number one in that. In the National Football League, that does not happen. I don't care who you're playing. Those are college football numbers. That's Alabama versus Akron, okay? And that's what the Bills are doing on an NFL level, and that has to be respected because it just doesn't happen. They are waylaying everybody in front of them.
Corey Curtis, brought to you by Invigorate Health in Mount Juliet. Look and feel your best with IV therapy, medical weight loss, testosterone health, and wellness and body shaping treatments. InvigorateHealth.com and InvigorateHealthTN.com for more info. Corey, to that point, the Bills have the number one ranked defense. A.J. Brown looks like he's going to play. Julio Jones looks like he's going to play. We know Derrick Henry's going to play. Anthony Ferguson, who has missed some games, he's playing. I mean, we all thought this offense was going to be high-powered, moving the football down the field. If A.J. and Julio are in there, is that enough to be able to put some points on the number one defense in the NFL?
Well, it better be because those guys are going to have to make some plays. Now, look, we're all down on the Titans offense. They're averaging over 26 points a game, which is, in years past, we would have been doing cartwheels down the street over, but they're coming from off of a year where they averaged 30 points. I think the one area where they're really missing is the shock plays in the passing game. They've only got 2 plays over 30 yards in the first 5 games. Last year, they were much more explosive, especially going play action. And I think that's really what's been missing are those shock plays on play action. And with both of those guys on the field, I really think Todd Downey's got to go play action more often early in series to move the ball down the field in bigger chunks and make this happen. I think the Titans lead the league in plays and in first down because they are having to churn them out 10, 12, 14 yards at a time. I know Derrick Henry's averaging a full yard less a carry than he was a year ago. They're averaging half a yard less per play than they were a year ago. And that's because there are fewer chunk plays to be had. They need to use Derrick Henry's presence to create those in the passing game. And those two guys, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, they're the ones who got to make it happen because right now, combined, they have one of them.
One of my bigger issues, Corey Curtis, our guest news too, one of my bigger issues is Jonnu Smith's not there anymore. And they're getting nothing out of the tight end position. I mean, I know Michael Pruitt had a touchdown, and he's by far their best, without a doubt. But to your point about the chunk plays, I mean, Jonnu Smith was good for a chunk play every now and then. And in the red zone,
he was explosive.
Jonnu Smith was Tannehill's go-to guy. I mean, I look at the tight end position, and I wonder if the Titans have to make a move and make a trade to get a tight end, or if they have to invest in using Michael Pruitt more because he's the best one they got. I mean, I think a lot of the issues you're talking about, Julio Jones being out of the lineup is part of it. I think a lot of it, too, though, is the lack of production from the tight end.
Well, I mean, look, it seems like they treated the tight end position this year like they treat the kicker position, that they'll just roll with whatever out there and they'll see what happens because there was no urgency. I mean, just imagine if the 49ers hadn't released Michael Pruitt, where would they be? I mean, they wouldn't have him. I mean, they'd be really struggling. I mean, I heard Mike Vrabel say that Jeff Swain played really well the other day, which was somewhat shocking to me. But apparently he did. But there isn't any explosiveness. There's no mismatch in the tight end game. And that's what you had with Jonnu. You could move him all over the formation to create mismatches. And we saw it when they put him in the backfield, the quick explosiveness in his athleticism. I don't think the Patriots have tapped into that yet either. But the Titans don't have anybody who can duplicate that. And so I thought coming into the season, the guy they were going to use to duplicate that was Darrington Evans, because he can really move and he can catch the football. But he hasn't been healthy. And so while Jeremy McNichols is good at catching the football out of the backfield, he's not the lightning bolt that Evans is. So they don't have it in the tight end game. They needed to replace it with the guy they had at running back, and now he hasn't been available. So I really think that that's the struggle there with creating that extra mismatch outside of Henry or at the wide receiver position.
A.J. Brown came out today, Corey, and said that Vrabel has been holding down his snap counts, says he'll probably be that way until week 10 or so that A.J. will be available for the whole season. What do you make of that?
You know, I know they put a value on getting guys to the finish line above everything, and so I get that. I also know that, you know, we talked with Coach Moore the other day, and he talked about how miserable of a human being A.J. Brown was when he doesn't get to play football. So I'm sure A.J. is pushing the envelope. I think what's most concerning is that says he's not 100% healthy, and they need A.J. Brown as close to healthy as possible because, you know, you get him the football in the secondary, and he makes stuff happen. And right now he's got 10 catches on 25 receptions. I don't have to be a math major, and you don't have to be an offensive coordinator to know that that number is terrible, and they need much more production out of him and getting him healthy as a start. So I understand not wanting to overwork him, but he needs to be a part of this offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of worries about A.J. long term. You know, short term,
yeah.
You know, I mean, they need him. They need him. Like, I don't know. You can't beat the Buffalo Bills without A.J. Brown. You can't win this division the way you want to win it without A.J. Brown. But
well, it's funny.
Mean,
everybody complained about Corey Davis' injury issues, and he really only had injury issues 1 year. And now A.J.'s been hurt every year. He had the hamstring the first year. He had the knee all last year, and now he's already back on a hamstring this year. But nobody talks about him being injury-plagued.
Corey Curtis, Fireball Hot Take Friday. What's your hot take this week?
You know what? As you look at the quarterback position, we all love athleticism. You know, we love that Josh Allen can run the ball. We love seeing Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts runs all over the field. Guys, the more I watch the game, accuracy is the most important thing a quarterback can have. Just watch Tom Brady. I mean, he moves like a three-toed tree sloth, but he puts the ball on guys and puts them in position to make plays. And when you look at Lamar Jackson the other night, why was Lamar Jackson great against the Colts? Because he completed over 80% of his passes or whatever it was when he threw 40. That's why, because the accuracy was better. When you look at Josh Allen and him going, I thought Josh Allen his first 2 years in the league was terrible and didn't stand a chance. I mean, I thought he was awful. And he has improved his accuracy so much that he is now an elite quarterback and the leader to win the National Football League MVP. It's not because of his athleticism. The athleticism is a bonus. Quarterbacks have to be accurate. And when they can make the right decisions and be accurate with the football, offenses just hum down the field.
Corey Curtis, News 2, as always, on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Corey, appreciate it.
All right, enjoy Monday Night Football. Could be a great one. Might not be.
Can I ask a random question?
Yeah.
So if ESPN is owned by Disney, normally that means that the ABC affiliate would get the game to put on TV for the local market, but it's on Fox 17 this week, not to promote them and not you, but
no,
why is that?
That's where it's at. You know what? Because it's not that simple. What happens is when the games come up locally, they get put up for bid. Okay? And so now, do I think we get first right to bid on it? I believe so, but I'm not privy to those conversations. And so I don't know. I don't know. Don't we have like Dancing with the Stars on that night as well?
Well, I think Monday Bachelor, that's a big one, right?
That's another big one, yep. And so it may be an issue of not wanting to give up what we have on because we make, you've got to make back the money that you pay to air that program. And that's often what it comes down to. But again, I'm not part of the conversations that decide which games you buy and which games you don't. To me,
I'm not part
I'd
of
buy
any
them all.
discussion like that.
I'd buy them all.
I'm not part of any discussion. Corey Curtis, News 2, as always. Appreciate you, Corey.
All right, thanks, Jared. You guys have a good one.
Yep, I can see that conversation. Hey, we got the Titans game we can buy this week. It'll cost us about $5 million. What do we have on instead? Bachelor? Who are they playing on Monday Night Football? Buffalo. Oh, hell, they'll get beat. But Bachelor, put the Bachelor on. I can see those discussions happening. What I don't understand is when they put the Cleveland Indians and the St. Louis Cardinals on the Fox Game of the Week in baseball, and we don't get the Braves. That is, or we get the Reds instead of getting the Braves. Like, just an abomination of understanding the market. That's neither here nor there. And I don't get to make those kind of decisions either. Corey Curtis, brought to you by Invigorate Health in Mount Juliet. My guys, look and feel your best with IV therapy, medical weight loss, testosterone, health and wellness, and body shaping treatments. InvigorateHealthTN.com for more info. By the way, speaking of games, tune into the Game of the Week on 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. This week's Game of the Week is the Dallas Cowboys against the New England Patriots. Kickoff 3:25 on Sunday. Coming up next, the Vol fans, I can already hear it. I can already feel it. And unlike Caroline, I'm not in Knoxville right now. We'll get to that next here on Stillman & Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Speaking of supporting the Vols, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. They're proud supporters of the Nashville Predators, the Tennessee Volunteers, and the Vanderbilt Commodores. And they will be rooting hard for both the Preds and the Vols, and they'll be rooting for Vandy tomorrow as well. And I love Hiller. They take great care of my home, and I'm telling you that they can do the same for you. You have noticed all the inventory shortages and empty shelves everywhere, and now there are serious shortages on equipment and products for your home. HVAC systems, tankless water heaters, and generators are going to be extremely limited in 2022. If you need a replacement, call our friends at Hiller today. Don't wait until you are out of options. Hiller has special financing available, so you buy now and you pay nothing until next year. Their work is backed by the Happy You'll Be or Services Free guarantee, and I can back that up for my friends at Hiller because every time they've come to my home, they've done a fantastic job, and they have taken great care of my home. Learn more at happyhiller.com. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hi, I'm Jussi Saros. And this is Smashville.
Stopped by Saros. Puck checked away and taken now by Mikhail Gronlund.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Family Leisure invites you to relax at home this fall with all our indoor products on sale now.
Family Leisure has theater seating, massage chairs, pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and game tables in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
Enjoy the movie theater experience in the safety and comfort of your own home with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets start at only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $14.99 as well.
Well, I want to redo our game room with a pool table for me and an air hockey and foosball table for the kids, maybe even a ping pong table.
Family Leisure has 30 pool tables on display, hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $14.99 installed.
And don't forget the shovelboard tables, a game everyone can play.
Family Leisure has above ground pools in stock and ready for immediate installation.
And there's great sale prices on outdoor and wicker furniture. Huge selection still in stock. That's Family Leisure's Relax at Home sale.
At both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use. Only down payment and required some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Your home value is way up this year, and with mortgage rates back to all-time lows, it's a great time to call Loan Pronto. Refinance now and get cash out of your home's equity. Hey, it's Willie Donick. Loan Pronto can refinance your loan at a super low rate. They can pay the closing costs for you and get you a bunch of cash out. How does $40,000 or $50,000 sound? Don't just sit on that home's new value. Use it. Use it to pay off credit cards. Use it to consolidate other debt. Get rid of PMI. Use IT to make your home even more valuable with that home improvement project you've been dreaming about. Loan Pronto's all-digital platform makes it fast and easy. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Ask about the Loan Pronto zero-cost cash-out refi. LoanPronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Zero cost option not available on all loans.
The 2021 Major League Soccer season isn't over yet, Nashville. Are you in? There are just 2 regular season home matches remaining as we make our final push for a playoff spot. Don't miss the action on Wednesday, October 20th at 7:30 p.m. against the Columbus Crew. Or catch the last regular season match of the season on Sunday, November 7th at 2:30 p.m. against New York Red Bulls at Nissan Stadium. Come be a part of the most unique sports experience in Nashville. Tickets are on sale now from just $22 at NashvilleSC.com. Everyone in.
Here they come, turn 4.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Every Saturday morning at 9, we hit the big topics. The Ally 400, Kyle Busch, frustrated, Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, and talk to the big names.
I'll go ahead and blame you.
Oh, I think it's big.
Could go a lot of different directions right now.
I was so impressed.
How cool that's going to be.
It's Chasing Checkers, Saturday morning at 9 on ESPN 1025 The Game, and wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, Nashville, this is Laura Rutledge from the SEC Network, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
There's 2 things here. One, that's a long time ago. And 2, like, we've done this thing, since USC have gone and played against USC, have played against Tennessee, have played against Alabama. So it's not like, hey, all of a sudden you're going back to a place you used to coach to. And again, went there twice at Alabama. Awesome place. I said it on some article last week about houses and where you lived. And they asked what was your, favorite house and where you lived. And I said the house in Knoxville, and they said why? I said, well, it's a great house and a great setup with the river, but the people, really enjoyed people there, still in contact, with a number of them. And we'll see some of them, Saturday.
Lane Kiffin, I love this about Lane Kiffin. Every time he's got to throw a little nugget in there, just a little nugget, just to kind of tell the people in Knoxville, hey, I loved you so much. I really loved you. And I can already feel, you're in Knoxville, I'm not. I can already feel the euphoria from Tennessee fans if they win tomorrow. Now, I don't know if they're going to win. And the Tyon, probably Tennessee's best offensive player, honestly. The injury.
Wouldn't argue with that.
Kind of bothers me a little bit. But
injury.
I can fear. Did I not say injury?
Is that, I was just reiterating.
Yeah. That I can just feel the euphoria in the streets of Knoxville if Tennessee wins. And for a lot of different reasons. Number one, I think Vol fans had mild expectations for this year. Beating a team the caliber of Ole Miss would surpass those expectations exponentially. Secondly, I think it would kind of prove that maybe Josh Heupel is the better offensive guru play caller than Lane Kiffin, which everybody thinks Lane Kiffin is the world's greatest offensive guru play caller. And I was telling somebody today, I had a girlfriend one time, and I just was so obsessed. Just obsessed. Worshiped the ground that she walked on. Just thought that, just everything. And all of my friends, and I've told this story about David Poyle and Matt Duchene. How he chased after Matt Duchene for forever. And all of my friends were like, yeah, she's fine. Like, okay. Like, so?
She's not this great person that you made her out to be.
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever really made her out to be this great person, but she's not this catch of a lifetime, kind of thing. And all of a sudden, you find somebody, I don't want to say better, but you find something better in your life, and you're like, wow, like everybody was right. But yet there's something
maybe a little
about
bit more potential.
Person. Well, there's something about that person that just keeps always bringing you back. And I think Tennessee fans are that way when it comes to Lane Kiffin. I don't think anybody at USC misses Lane Kiffin. I don't think anybody with the Raiders misses Lane Kiffin, and we know that it's a mess right there. I don't think Nick Saban misses Lane Kiffin. And yet Tennessee fans, I think deep down inside, miss Lane Kiffin a little bit. And I don't know why. I mean, look, Lane left them high and dry. We know the animosity. The couches were on fire. But there's nobody else around the country who looks at their football program that's an elite team that thinks, you know what we need to do? Hire Lane Kiffin. You're an LSU fan. Do you guys want Lane Kiffin?
No, I do not.
Okay. But yet Tennessee
Not even
fans,
a little bit.
and they won't admit it right now because I think they're happy with what Josh Heupel's done, and they want Josh Heupel to beat Lane Kiffin. They want him to beat Lane Kiffin this week, and they want to say, yes, Josh Heupel is our guy. He's our coach. But I think there's something about Lane that Tennessee fans just can't quit. There's something about the fact that he dumped them that has always had Tennessee fans still chasing after Lane. I heard Robbie Stanley say the other day that he would have called Lane Kiffin this offseason, just said, hey, you interested in the job? Why? How many SEC titles has Lane Kiffin won? How many national championships has Lane Kiffin won? How many Pac-12s?
As a head coach or period? Because he won SEC championships and national championships at Alabama.
He won one national championship at Alabama. He got fired before the second one, and he lost the Sugar Bowl to Ohio State in 2014. Lane Kiffin, to me, I think kind of overrated, honestly. But I'm talking about as a head coach because that's what people want him at Tennessee to be. I mean, what has Lane Kiffin done? And yet Tennessee fans cannot quit this man. And it's like this toxic relationship. And I think if they win on Saturday, they will feel tomorrow like they got the better hand. Like, yes, we got the better hand. How you like me now, Lane? And so I can feel the euphoria that is just coming with tomorrow's game. And yet a buddy of mine, Scott Fischel, texted me. And he said, and his girlfriend is a big Tennessee fan. And he is very much not a big Tennessee fan. Now, he's not a Tennessee hater, but he is very much not a big Tennessee fan. And he went to Texas, so he absolutely cannot stand Rick Barnes. And he texted me, and he said, real talk, where is the UT confidence coming from? And I said, the beatdown of Missouri. And he says, that just seems so dumb. Beating up on trash teams, SMH. And I'm like, you know what's kind of funny? Where is the confidence from UT coming from? Was it the beatdown of Missouri? I mean, we all know South Carolina's bad. So the beatdown of Missouri has the confidence that Tennessee can now
I don't think Missouri's anything great either.
I know, but like Missouri felt better going into the game than South Carolina did.
Yeah, South Carolina felt like a very easy win. Like I wrote that in as an automatic win for the Vols going into this season. Missouri, I didn't do that, but I also didn't expect Missouri to be this bad going into this season. But I don't think it was necessarily the opponents, but it was what they saw, because it was finally Hendon Hooker settling into his starting role as starting quarterback. Because, I mean, at this point, you can kind of take away the Bowling Green game, the Pitt game, because, I mean, taking away Joe Milton at starting quarterback, I think has changed this offense. So I think it's seeing glimmers of hope because, I mean, when was the last time Tennessee scored 60-something points?
Right, but I'm saying like...
I don't know.
I'm talking about like the outside looking in saying, when did UT fans get all this confidence? And it's like, well, when's the last time they scored 60 points? It's like, okay, against Missouri? It's like, and I yesterday I told you I think the Vols may win this game. I do.
Well, I mean, they've played worse teams and haven't put up 60 points.
But my bigger issue is the pure euphoria that I can feel coming from Tennessee fans if they win tomorrow. Like this
Why do you have a problem with that?
This will be as big as winning a national championship for this team. Because it's the only thing. Well, this team can't win a national title. I'm saying the excitement tomorrow will be through the roof. I mean, it will be unbridled if they win. I mean, why do
you have a problem with that?
I don't, but I can just feel it. But the problem I have with it, honestly, is that it won't be so much about the progress of the program. It will be the fact that they beat Lane Kiffin. That's what it will be. I think it'll be both. That we showed Lane Kiffin, and I'm with you. The other part, beating a top 25 Ole Miss team that might not be bad, that might have the first overall quarterback, in the draft class on their team, that's a good win for Tennessee. That's a good win for Josh Heupel. But the idea of like this pent-up anger or pent-up, desire to prove Lane Kiffin wrong, I got no time for that because I don't think much of Lane Kiffin. I told you yesterday, he's just not buttoned up enough for me. I just don't think he's a good head coach. And the Tennessee fans, they're Lane Kiffin's only ex-team that just can't quit the man. I don't think they care about him in Tuscaloosa. I don't think they care about him with the Raiders. I don't think they care about him at USC. I can't tell you about Florida Atlantic. I don't know what they care about there. But I don't think that anybody else cares about Lane Kiffin like Tennessee fans do. And so if you win, be excited. If you win, be excited that your program got its biggest win in maybe the last 3-5, maybe since Butch Jones beat Georgia. Your biggest win for your program. But don't make it about Lane Kiffin because you don't need Lane Kiffin because you're better than Lane Kiffin because there's somebody out there, and it might be Heupel, it might not be, I don't know, but there's somebody out there who's better for you than Lane Kiffin. 615-737-1025. I can tell you've got a rebuttal to that, so I will let you fire that off coming up, and we'll get to your phone. 615-737-1025. Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday right here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Let me tell everybody out there that they can join Chase McCabe tomorrow at Sam's Place at 54-5 Old Hickory Boulevard for Chasers Tailgate. Stop by and hang out with Chase and watch the SEC Game of the Week, Georgia and Kentucky, and enjoy beer specials and great food for the Chasers Tailgate. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Strong to severe storms possible this afternoon and evening. Main threats, damaging wind, localized flooding, but small hail and an isolated tornado will be possible.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
You may have heard that Allstate has new low auto rates, but isn't it time to see for yourself? Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Hey Nashville, it's Jared, and there's a new go-to for home furnishing. Social Furniture on the West Side is independently home-owned furniture store in Nashville. Forget the big box stores. Shop local, shop social.
It's football season and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. Their sofas with recliners are push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99. Sectionals with Chase Lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are plus leather, microfiber, and There's no waiting, and take home your new motion furniture today or with their same-day fine furniture delivery. Social Furniture has no down payments and no interest. You don't want to miss out on their best lifetime guarantee motion furniture sale going on now.
Shop local, shop social, 5412 Charlotte Avenue near White Bridge Road, and tell them Jared Stillman sent you.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, CraneWorks. The CraneWorks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give CraneWorks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth moving equipment. Call CraneWorks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Become a weekend warrior at BetMGM. King of the Weekend is a free-to-play challenge where you can win up to $50,000 for correctly picking the highest-scoring pro football teams during the weekend. Simply log into your account and find the King of the Weekend contest in your promotions section. Then, pick the 6 teams you think will score the most points from the selected games. $1,000 will go to the top entry each week, and if you guess all 6 in the right order, the grand prize of $50,000 could be yours. Plus, hundreds of dollars in free bets will be awarded to players who come close to a perfect score. Go to your account and try the King of the Weekend free-to-play game. New to BetMGM? Download the app today and make weekend football even better. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. My favorite sportsbook. You must be 21 years or older, must be in Tennessee. Visit BetMGM.com for a full list of terms and conditions. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Robbie Stanley.
That size and that speed just doesn't grow on trees. That could be something that you could really turn into.
Joe Rexrode.
Just hold out and somebody will call in the bad signal.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is on. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Hope everybody's doing great. Had a great day today with the guys. Week's going well. Excited about this one. Everybody understands the environment we're going to have a chance to play in on Saturday night, and really good football team. But preparation's been good. Excited for this one. Ready to go play.
Josh Heupel, that's your current boyfriend, Tennessee fans. That's the guy you're supposed to like. Not Lane Kiffin. We know you still love Lane. They cannot quit Lane Kiffin.
I don't think they love Lane. I don't think they love Lane. I don't know where you're getting that idea.
Oh, you ever had an ex that you're hung up on? You don't love them.
But you're just obsessed with them.
You hate them. I mean, you are obsessed. You hate them. Alabama's not obsessed. Alabama fired Lane Kiffin before the national championship game. They lost the national championship game because Steve Sarkisian's play calling sucked, and Jalen Hurts kind of sucked too, and Deshaun Watson went ham, and they don't miss him. They don't care about him.
Well,
USC doesn't care
had
about
plenty
him.
of success without him.
USC doesn't care about him. They've had no success without him.
Well, I mean, I think Alabama is not a very fair sample size or a very fair example because
what about USC?
It's not like Lane left on his own will. I think that was the thing. Lane Kiffin decided to leave Tennessee, and ever since he left Tennessee, that program has been in shambles.
That's it. Lane Kiffin dumped you. The Raiders don't even have a coach, and they don't care about Lane Kiffin.
I will use it as an example, my own example of when LSU beat Alabama in 2019. There is a lot of hatred between those two programs for a lot of reasons, one of them being Nick Saban left LSU and found a lot of success at LSU's in-division rival. So there's some hatred there. So whenever LSU beat Alabama, yes, we were excited because we realized, okay, no, we really are the real deal. And yes, we were excited because that set LSU up to go to the SEC championship. But I think a little bit of it there was also because we stuck it to Nick Saban, because we've always been Alabama's little brother, and we were able to stick it to Nick Saban. And I think it's that same kind of thing for UT fans.
But we understand.
We beat Missouri and South Carolina.
The rest of the world understands why LSU's mad at Nick Saban. We understand because LSU still wants Nick Saban. Because the Dolphins probably still wish they had Nick Saban.
Who doesn't want Nick Saban?
That's my point. And he ain't Nick Saban. Nobody else in America really cares about Lane Kiffin like that. That's all I'm saying. Let's get to your phones. 615-737-1025. Phone line driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com.
One texter texts in and says, not every UT fan feels that way. Born and raised in Tennessee, huge UT fan, didn't care about Lane then and do not care about him now.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you, the discourse that I've heard over the last 5 days, you're in the minority. And I think it's probably split of the people who genuinely hate Lane Kiffin because he dumped him. And I think the other side of it is the kind of people that are like, God, look at that offense. So if Lane was here, we'd have Lane. And I'm like, look, guys, Lane is not that good of a coach. He's really not that good of a coach. He's fine. But this idea that, I mean, first of all, that defense is toilet paper right now that they have at Ole Miss. I mean, that's pathetic.
But, I mean, Ole Miss a few years ago, if you think back to before Lane was there, they weren't a top 25 team. They weren't putting up 600 yards of offense. So even though, no, Lane Kiffin is not Nick Saban, I don't think Lane Kiffin is one of the top-tier coaches in college football. He's bringing a lot of success to a program that expects success and hasn't gotten it in quite some time.
They won the Sugar Bowl 5 years ago.
Okay.
That's success. Mark Stoops at Kentucky is a guy who's taken a program that has never had success in the last 25 years and had a little bit of success.
Those are different programs.
Right, but Lane's gotten it. That's my point. You're acting like Lane has come in and taken Ole Miss from this awful, atrocious, never won anything program to good. And I'm like, no, that's what Mark Stoops has done at Kentucky. What Lane Kiffin's done at Ole Miss is it's not as bad as what was the interim coach's name who was before Lane? I can't remember the guy. But Johnny Interim, he wasn't as bad as him, but when Hugh Freeze was cheating and getting all those great players, I mean, Ole Miss was beating Alabama, like, back-to-back years. Ole Miss was in the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss was in the discussion for the college football playoff.
But that was 2012, 2013, 14?
No, I was like 15, 16, 17 maybe, and then I think 17 might have been the Hookers for Hugh Freeze, and that was
tough year for Hookers.
What else we got?
Nick in Philly texts in and says, do you think Lane gets fired on the tarmac after the Vols beat Ole Miss?
I do wonder what the pressure is going to be like on Lane if they lose. And I know, like, I get the joke, haha, he got fired on the tarmac at USC. That's also something that only Tennessee fans still care about. Like, that goes back to, like, it's your ex that you can't quit, that it's so toxic that literally nobody else around the country cares about that stuff anymore. And, like, Tennessee fans still got to throw in that little zinger. Hey,
why do you care so much about what Tennessee fans are hung up on?
Remember in 2013 when he got fired off the tarmac? Because it's a waste of everybody's time. And yet I know what people care about with this game. As far as Tennessee fans are concerned, they care about beating Lane Kiffin because Lane Kiffin is the ex that you can't quit. And it bothers me because I don't think Tennessee fans should give a rat's ass about Lane Kiffin because nobody else in America cares about Lane Kiffin. Nobody.
Lane Kiffin cares about Lane Kiffin.
Nobody. Like, no other school. Like, you're an LSU fan. Y'all don't care about Lane Kiffin.
Well, he was never at LSU.
He was, like I said, USC doesn't care. The Raiders don't care. Alabama doesn't care. And I'll tell you what, your dad will be
had
through
plenty
the
of
roof
success without
if they
him.
beat Lane Kiffin. The Raiders haven't. USC hasn't. You've already said that, so you can't use that.
But he didn't have a ton of success at USC. He got fired for a reason. He brought
USC
success
has an opening
to
right
Tennessee.
now, and nobody at USC is saying we need Lane Kiffin back.
Why would they want him?
Lane Kiffin won 8 games his first year at Tennessee, and then he left. Guess how many games Jeremy Pruitt won in a season at Tennessee? 8 games. Want to bring him back? No, because you dumped him. This is, it's so, by the way, Ian says that Matt Luke was the interim coach at Ole Miss. I totally forgot about that. Do you know what I remember about Matt Luke?
What?
Was it Elijah Moore? They played Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl, and it was Thanksgiving Day, and it was what I call the old-fashioned coach-off, which is an old-fashioned coach-off. Yes. The old-fashioned coach-off is loser gets fired. And so Joe Moorhead was going to get fired if they lost. Matt Luke was going to get fired if they lost. And Elijah Moore scored either the game-winning touchdown or the game-tying touchdown, and he lifted his leg up in the end zone and faked peeing on it and got a 15-yard penalty, and they lost. And Matt Luke lost his job. That
was so funny.
That's SEC football to a T. We'll take your calls on it. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Your thoughts again on the Lane Bowl coming up here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Let me tell you about Edmunds. That's right. Buying a car can be overwhelming, especially now that demand is back and in full swing. Lucky for you, Edmunds has been taking the stress out of car shopping for over 50 years. Edmunds editors drive over 500,000 miles every year, testing thousands of hours on hundreds of new vehicles. They review almost every car on the market and rank the best ones in each category, so you can narrow your search and compare options side by side to find the best vehicle for you. When you're ready, Edmunds makes it easy to find options in your area with accurate price estimates. They have helpful filters, so you can search by color, model, special features, engine type, drivetrain, price, distance, and more. They even show you dealerships that are offering home delivery. Edmunds is here to help guide you to your perfect vehicle. Visit Edmunds.com to see their best car rankings and search for vehicles near you. That's EDMUNDS.com. For cars, there's Edmunds.
The voice of reason.
That whole operation and choices and the plan and everything looked like garbage.
The voice of the fan.
There's a lot of loyal fans paying a lot of good money, and we just feel like we deserve the decency to give us a little bit more of an answer there.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen. Most shoppers today fall into one of two categories. You could be like Dave, who settles for nothing but the finest.
I drive only European luxury sedans, wear the finest Italian leather shoes, my shirts are custom made, and I expect white glove service from those I do business with. I appreciate world-class brands, and at this point in my life, I just don't want to compromise on quality, no matter what I buy.
Or you might be like Steve, whose goal is to always get the best deal.
I'm frugal. I'm all about finding value. I want the best price, and I don't mind going out of my way to get it. I work hard for my money. I just want to make sure when I buy something, I can have confidence in knowing I'm not overpaying for it. Stop being cheap. It's being smart.
You never see these two guys in the same store. Except for one.
That's why I shop at Genesis Diamonds.
Genesis Diamonds is that rare shopping experience where you can have it all. Uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Exceptional service and the guaranteed best price in America. A premium experience and a smart purchase. This is where the best of all worlds come together. Genesis Diamonds, voted best jewelry store year after year. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. And if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology. But we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 102.5 The Game. Fireball Hot Take Friday, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Caroline Fenton is in Knoxville, where she is going to protect the couch. Because if the Vols win tomorrow, are they going to set a couch on fire?
Absolutely.
They may set a couch on fire.
To be honest, as they should.
They should set couches on fire?
Well, okay, well, maybe not necessarily setting a couch on fire. We're not going to endorse arson on this show, but they should be happy about it. They should celebrate.
You're right. And I can see the text line. We'll get to these texts in just a second. I can see the text line flooding in about Tennessee fans and the fact that they can't quit Lane Kiffin. That anytime Lane does something, Tennessee fans have to talk about it because they're obsessed. USC doesn't care. The Raiders don't care. Alabama doesn't care.
He was bad at USC. Alabama's been fine since he left. I think you're obsessed with Lane Kiffin.
So that's what one of the texters said. My bigger issue is this. The focus on this game, in my opinion, shouldn't be about Lane Kiffin. Lane's brand is established. We know what he is. Ole Miss knows what he is. Take the crazies out of it. Take like real, sensible fans. Ole Miss knows what they are. They know that they're a program in the SEC West that's not as good traditionally as Alabama, Auburn, LSU, or Texas A&M. They think they're probably better than Mississippi State, which I would assume matters the most to them, that they be better than Mississippi State, and they probably think they're better than Arkansas. But they know where they are. They know their place.
Just barely.
They know that they are traditionally, when they're good, that they can be a top 25 program that goes to a bowl game every year. And so they're kind of like Kentucky, but they care about football more because they don't have a good basketball program and because they don't play in the East, where if Ole Miss were in the East every year, they would try to position themselves behind Florida and Georgia on a consistent basis. So they're like the Kentucky Wildcats of the SEC West, which is fine. But they know that. And so they look at Lane, and I think they think, okay, this is going to be an offensive coach, so it's going to be fun, who's a little kooky and crazy, So we're going to win games 52-51 like we did last week against Arkansas. And with Lane, we can be a top 25 team that maybe gets to the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl or the Citrus Bowl or a decent bowl, every other year or so. And then when they're not in that bowl, they can play like in the Music City Bowl or in some other bowl. Like they know what they are. And I think most people know what Lane is. I don't think anybody across America, except for the crazies, thinks that you can win a national title with Lane Kiffin as your coach. He just doesn't care about defense enough. He's not responsible enough. He's not buttoned up enough. He's not any of those things. The real question here is Heupel. That's the one that I think if we're talking about Tennessee and we're talking about the focus of this game this week, to me, it's Heupel. And here's why. Because going into the season, you had to ask yourself, what are the expectations for Tennessee football? And there were a lot of, answers that were subjective. Like, I hope Tennessee football, just puts out there a decent team that doesn't get absolutely killed by so-and-so or that doesn't anything like that. But there was also some, 6-6, 7-5, going to a bowl game, looking competitive. Like those things were more objective. Like either you're 6-6 or you're not 6-6. Either you're in a bowl game or you're not in a bowl game. And so with Heupel, we looked at it and said, okay, they're going to beat Tennessee Tech. They're going to beat Vanderbilt. They're going to beat, South Alabama or one of those teams.
Tennessee Tech, South Alabama, Bowling Green.
South Alabama's on the schedule this year, right?
I think so.
Okay, whatever. Crap bum State. They're going to beat them. They're going to beat Bowling Green. That's 4. Then you think they're probably going to beat South Carolina. That's 5. So now all you got to do is pick up 6. That's all you had to do. And that's why we looked at the Missouri game and we were like, oh, my God, you beat Missouri. That's probably the 6th win. They annihilate Missouri. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you annihilate Missouri, now we start saying, well, wait a minute. What about Kentucky? And on the same day that Tennessee annihilated Missouri, Ole Miss got skunked by Alabama. Got absolutely housed. And I think you can think, well, wait a minute. What about Ole Miss? Because going into the year, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, you're like, no shot. Then Kentucky looks good to start the season. You're thinking, no shot. Now you're thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance Ole Miss. Maybe there's a chance Kentucky. Well, now you're starting to talk about 7 wins. Now you're starting to talk about 8 wins. Now you're starting to talk about a decent bowl game, like the Gator Bowl or whatever it's called now, Tax Slayer Bowl or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about Heupel because we don't know what Heupel can be. We have no clue. And if you take over the mess that he inherited and you get to 7 or 8 wins in a decent bowl game at Tennessee and you win impressive games, which this would be for him, I think instead of comparing him to Lane Kiffin, I think it's more about the idea that Heupel has already exceeded your expectations in year 2. Now, this says nothing about his recruiting. This says nothing about, can he get the guys to buy in going into year 2, which may be the most important year for a coach. Can he get the guys to get along, to get the chemistry right, to get the coaching staff right? All of those things, are going to be determined later. But as far as the initial expectation for Josh Heupel, for me, he wins on Saturday, he exceeds it. Tennessee fans had a very neutral rating on Josh Heupel. I think some people were underwhelmed by the hire when it was made because he took over a UCF team that was up here and they were starting to decline down here. But if you take over a Tennessee team that's all the way down here and they win 7 or 8 games that first year, they beat an Ole Miss, maybe they beat Kentucky or something like that, Tennessee fans are going to think, this guy can coach. And maybe they're right. I know what Lane is. I don't know what Josh Heupel is. So that's my long drawn out, long-winded way of saying that the focus of this game should be on Heupel and not on Lane. And it shouldn't be to compare Heupel to Lane, which is what I think Tennessee fans are going to do. If they win, they're going to say, our guy's better than your guy. But it's not about that because we know what Lane is. We know what Ole Miss is. This is about what can Heupel be. And I don't know if Tennessee fans are looking at it like that.
Well, wouldn't it be a natural comparison to make that our guy is better than your guy if our guy beats your guy? We know what Lane Kiffin is. That's the thing. We know what Lane Kiffin is.
I don't think Kentucky fans look at it like, hey, our guy is better than Eli Drinkowitz, which would be the typical our guy is better than your guy. This is why it goes back to that X mentality of, hey, our guy's better than your guy. I mean, it matters when you're emotionally attached to the other guy. Nobody talks about is Josh Heupel better than Shane Beamer, because they don't care about Shane Beamer. But Georgia fans
also
consistently
because Shane
are
Beamer
playing
doesn't
that
coach
game.
a top 25 team.
Well, but see, I don't think that, like when you guys were at LSU, when you guys won the national title in 2019, how many games was the our guy better than your guy thing mattered to you?
Alabama.
Okay. The one where there's serious jealousy, serious envy, serious anger towards the way he left LSU. Like, nobody looked at it. And Alabama wasn't the only good team that LSU played. In fact, LSU beat Texas in week 2 of that year. And people forget about this. LSU's first choice was Tom Herman. Like, LSU wanted Tom Herman. Tom Herman, I think, honestly wanted the Texas job, but he was trying to play both sides of it, which is what most coaches do. And LSU embarrassed Tom Herman. And that could have been an our guy is better than your guy game. But only when
I do think it was. But also, to your point, that is another kind of emotional investment, because it kind of felt like, oh, well, Tom Herman would rather go to Texas. That's fine. We'll beat you. Because that has a little bit more of an emotional pull to it. But I mean, for Tennessee fans, like you said, we know what Lane Kiffin is. And I would say that Lane Kiffin has found a good bit of success. You know what you're going to get from Lane Kiffin offense. He has the ability to have this high-powered offense, and he's done it. I mean, his quarterback's in conversation for the Heisman. So I think it's using that as a benchmark, using that as kind of as a tape measure game of like, okay, we know what Lane Kiffin is. We know what Matt Corral is. We know what this Ole Miss team can do. So if we can beat them, if we can hang around with them, then that's a measuring stick for where this Tennessee program is.
Lane Kiffin is 9-6 at Ole Miss. Like, he's not, when you talk about an our guy beating your guy, he's not a
I might have to say Mark Stoops.
Ian, who's a better coach, Lane Kiffin or Mark Stoops?
That is a good question. Stoops seems like a pretty good overall, more rounded coach, and Lane seems more like an offensive kind of guy. I don't know how you compare that, but it's hard to go against Stoops at this point.
I think Stoops is a better coach, but I don't think I don't think Tennessee fans care about Mark Stoops. They care about Lane. We're to your phones next. 615-737-1025 is our phone number on a Fireball Hot Take Friday, and I see them lining up, so we will get to them next. 615-737-1025. It's pretty wild when you think about it like that, though, isn't it? Like all the talk and all the drama, and TV always wants to put Lane Kiffin on television because he might say something, and CBS is like, oh, God, we got to put Kentucky on this week. Oh, God. Oh, why do we have to put Kentucky on? Like that's what they're saying at CBS. And yet, I think you can make the argument Stoops is a better coach. And you know how I feel about Stoops. Off the air, how I feel about Stoops. 1025 has your chance to win Preds tickets during the month of October. Just post a picture of your radio dial set to 1025 The Game on social media, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Tag the game and use the hashtag TicketDash to be instantly qualified to win. Show us your dash, brought to you by Social Furniture. Support local, support social. Stillman & Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Titans, Bills. Monday Night Football returns to Music City. Tune in Monday from 5 to 7 for NFL pregame with Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard. Live from Rock Bottom Brewery and Restaurant on Broadway.
This is October football.
They're going to come out and have to protect Tannehill. The coaches know a lot more than we do.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Staples Connect is a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Hey, Nashville.
We think you deserve the very best driving experience, and now is the time for our Season of Change CPO event at Mercedes-Benz of Music City. When you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you're backed by the remaining new vehicle limited warranty. Once that expires, the certified pre-owned limited warranty goes into effect, providing an additional 12 months of coverage with unlimited miles. See all the perks and exceptional offers for your certified pre-owned vehicle from Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
With Fundbox, you can stop waiting and start doing. If your small business needs funds to grow, the time is now. Fundbox offers fast, easy access to small business funding up to $150,000. So hire that new employee, launch that campaign, buy that piece of equipment. Apply in minutes at fundbox.com, and you could get funding as soon as the next business day. Fundbox. Ready, set, grow. Credit line amounts, rates, and terms are based on creditworthiness and subject to change. Additional documentation may be required.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and let me tell you about my friends at Curacion CBD. If you're like me and have aches and pains all over your body and you've been searching for a solution, well, I've got it. It's Curacion CBD. Curacion means healing, and that right there says it all. Curacion is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here from Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sell, Curacion is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use for athletes and for pets too. Order yours now at CuracionCompany.com. Curacion CBD, curated for life.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Become a weekend warrior at BetMGM. King of the Weekend is a free-to-play challenge where you can win up to $50,000 for correctly picking the highest-scoring pro football teams during the weekend. Simply log into your account and find the King of the Weekend contest in your promotions section. Then, pick the 6 teams you think will score the most points from the selected games. $1,000 will go to the top entry each week, and if you guess all 6 in the right order, the grand prize of $50,000 could be yours. Plus, hundreds of dollars in free bets will be awarded to players who come close to a perfect score. Go to your account and try the King of the Weekend free-to-play game. New to BetMGM? Download the app today and make weekend football even better. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. My favorite sportsbook. You must be 21 years or older, must be in Tennessee. Visit BetMGM.com for a full list of terms and conditions. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Creating the finest award-winning tequila means starting with the best ingredients. Camarena Tequila is 250 years in the making from Arandas, Jalisco, Mexico. You see, at Camarena, they wait for their 100% blue Weber agave to reach maturity before harvesting each and every plant by hand. This allows them to consistently produce one of the smoothest and best-tasting tequilas in the world. Experience Camarena Tequila today, available at a fine liquor store near you. Camarena Tequila is the official tequila for the Nashville Soccer Club.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Stillman and Company Fireball Hot Take Friday. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals. Check out Nashville's best deals. Current deals include half-off gift cards for Retro Snow, Fat Cat Slim, Central Barbecue, Joyland in East Nashville, and Bad Axe Throwing. Get your deal now at theGameNashville.com/deals. To your phones we go on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Tennessee and Ole Miss. Caroline, please.
One texter texts in about Lane Kiffin and said, here's the difference. If Lane Kiffin is your head coach, it's easy to get behind him. His moxie is contagious. If he is there is a legit belief that winning an SEC championship is possible, whether or not it actually happens. Heupel is just okay. It's not like he's a bad coach. It's just you don't feel like he's ever going to be a contender for a national title, an SEC title, or even the SEC East.
So I believe the first part, and that goes back to the exact same thing we ended the last segment on. Who's the better coach? Mark Stoops or Lane Kiffin? Lane makes you believe. Like, Lane is the head coach version of Taylor Lewan, right? Like, people that love that kind of bravado love it. Like, they love Taylor Lewan's podcast. Mm-hmm. They love his T-shirts. They buy jerseys with number 77 with dad on the nameplate. They
still so weird.
Love it. They love it. Oh, my God. They just think that that's a way of life. For the boys, they just love it. But if you care about winning football, you don't care about that. You care about, can Taylor Lewan's hips move well enough for him to be able to get outside and block for Derrick Henry? Can Taylor Lewan take on the best pass rushers in the NFL, like a David Onyemata or a Chandler Jones or a, who are they going up against this week? Mario Addison. Can he face those guys? That's what you care about. If you care about, if you get in, you can get suckered in to the bravado of Lane Kiffin, the trolling of Nick Saban. I mean, think about this. Did anybody think that him trolling Lane Kiffin or him trolling Nick Saban for an entire year was going to end well for him?
I just thought I was like, you are planning your own funeral, Lane, because it's going to make everything so much worse.
I mean,
whenever you inevitably lose.
Did anybody think that? Like, what's crazy is I was reading Tim Grover's book, the trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe. Mm-hmm. And apparently there was a game where the Bulls were playing the Vancouver Grizzlies. And some scrub player, they were down by like 13 in the third quarter or fourth quarter, and some scrub player said something to Michael Jordan. Jordan went nuts and had like 22 in the fourth, and the Bulls humiliated the Grizzlies at the end. And it's like, did you think that was going to end well for you? Like, that's not going to end well. Horace Grant in The Last Dance, Nick Anderson, who was on that Orlando Magic team that Horace was on, came out and said, 45 is not 23. And Horace Grant goes, oh, God, why did he say that? Because you don't say stuff like that. So when you're a fan, you love like the bravado, the moxie, the we're going to get them, the aggressive talk like that.
It's the kind of thing that you love it when they're your coach, but when they're not your coach, you think it's so annoying.
You think it's so immature.
Yes.
Mark Stoops would never. Mark Stoops, I have no idea what Mark Stoops has said about Kirby, but I bet it's nothing but good stuff. Kirby was talking about how great of a coach Mark Stoops was this week. That's why you do it. And by the way, I still think, and I'm not a huge Stoops guy, I still think Stoops is a better coach than Lane. Stoops is more buttoned up. Stoops has brought his program from further down because Kentucky was a mess.
Kentucky was a dumpster fire.
They were awful. I mean, and Stoops has had good players, and he flies under the radar. But to the texter's point, you're never going to think you're going to win the SEC with Mark Stoops as your coach. But you think you're going to win the SEC with Lane Kiffin as your coach. Guess what? He's never won the SEC before. What's next?
Another texter texts in and says an 8-5 record his first year, beat Georgia, lost to Bama by a blocked field goal. He did far better than any other coach we have had in 10 years. And to the texter's point, I think that's exactly why Tennessee fans are so hung up on him, because he did bring success to that program. He did get that program excited. And then he left on his own free will.
Eight wins, a 7-5 season. That is not like that's a Butch Jones.
What do you think the standard for success is at Tennessee?
But if that was the standard for success, Butch Jones would still be the coach. I mean, Butch Jones beat Florida and Georgia in the same year. He won 8 games. I think he won 9 games.
And he kept his job after that. And then he started to decline.
He had one bad year. They wanted to fire him after the 2016 season, where I think they went 9-4. And I believe that year in 2016 was the year that they beat Florida and Georgia. They just also lost to South Carolina and Vanderbilt, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. But, I mean, to me, I think it's the Vols fans are just caught up in the bravado of Lane. The bravado and the exciting offense. The exciting offense. And I don't get into this stuff. I used to love Colin Cowherd, and I still watch his show because I think, at that time of the day, it's the best thing on for sports. Because it's like, do I want to watch that or do I want to watch First Take? I'll watch this. But Colin Cowherd, when he was at ESPN, I mean, he was just fire and brimstone. I mean, he just lit people up. Now he's moved out to Los Angeles. He's on Fox making $6.5 million a year. And he talks about things that I don't necessarily care about, which is like LeBron's a brand. Jimmy G doesn't have a brand. Brady's got a brand. And so I don't really get too much into that. But, like, compare Josh Heupel's brand to Lane Kiffin's brand. I can make an argument that Josh Heupel is a better offensive coach than Lane Kiffin.
You could make that argument.
Lane's got the good looks. Lane's got the preemptive touchdown celebrations on the sidelines. Lane's Joey Freshwater. Lane's all. And I think Tennessee fans really bought into that. You know, he came from the NFL. I think Tennessee fans really bought into that. When they hired Josh Heupel at Tennessee, and I'm not to say that, you know, you never judge a cover by the book. You never judge a book by the cover.
A book by its cover.
When they hired Josh Heupel, I remember looking at Josh Heupel and just kind of thinking, this is the guy that was that badass quarterback at Oklahoma that won the national championship? Like, really? And I think the Tennessee fans, I think they like Heupel. I think they hope that Heupel does well. I think they hope that Heupel's their guy. I think they've seen some encouraging signs. But they're not, like, eating it up like they ate up the Lane Kiffin stuff. And I think that's all a mental thing. It goes back to Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops doesn't look the part. You know, what is Mark Stoops' brand? I don't know, but I think he's a better coach than Lane.
Well, Lane had that star appeal. Lane came from the NFL. You know, Lane had that very, you know, Hollywood type of personality and mentality that he wanted the glitz and the glamour. He wanted everything to be shiny. And that's easy to buy into whenever it's your coach and you think that he is doing a good job. That's fun to buy into because it's like, yeah, you know, you can act however you want to act if you win. Bill Belichick, I think, is one of the most just mean, let's just say mean people out there. But you can act like that. You can act like a whatever when you win games. So I think that's what Tennessee fans bought into, and I don't blame them. I think any other program in the country would buy into that. If you're so starved for at least a little bit of success and some conversation about your program, you're going to eat it up when it comes from anyone. Josh Heupel, on the other hand, isn't that sexy kind of hire. He's not the glitz and the glamour. Like, I could guarantee you there are a lot of people out there that could not pick him out of a lineup. But it's what he does on the field that matters.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. 615-737-1025. And I totally agree with what you're saying. I can't get over what you just said.
What?
I just can't get over it. Oh, man.
What did I just say?
615-737-1025. It's not about what you just said. It's about what you're going to say, which is about our friends at BetUS.
I want to tell you about my favorite sports book, and that is BetUS. Hockey's back finally. We've got some college football, NFL football this weekend, so get in on the action and do it with BetUS. They've been America's favorite sports book for over 25 years, and that's exactly why I bet at BetUS, because they have integrity, they have longevity, they've been around a long time. So when you win on BetUS, you know that you are going to get paid. Plus, they offer everything. They have live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, all kinds of crazy prop bets. Anything that you want to put money on, you can do it with BetUS. So call them today, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Call them at 1-800-79-BET-US. That is 1-800-79-BET-US. Nobody in the industry gives bigger bonuses than BetUS, so give them a try. If you join now, you can mention the promo code GAME and get a sign-up bonus on your first deposit. Nobody in the industry beats BetUS's bonuses. I bet at BetUS, and so should you. So go now to betus.com, put in promo code GAME for a sign-up bonus on your first deposit. That is betus.com.
Forsberg in the circle. He scores! Philip Forsberg! What a rocket! Saturday night, Philip Forsberg and the Predators take on the Hurricanes in a playoff rematch at Bridgestone Arena. Pre-game at 6, face-off at 7 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The wait is over. The live event you've been waiting for is here. Zach Brown Band, live. The Comeback Tour, this Sunday night, Bridgestone Arena. The multi-platinum, Grammy Award-winning Zach Brown Band with special guests Devin Dawson and Ashlyn Kraft. Tickets are on sale now at LiveNation.com. Zach Brown Band. Buy tickets at LiveNation.com.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with Mizuno irons and wedges. The JPX 921 Hot Metal Pro, Tour, and Forged irons offer Mizuno's fastest ball speeds ever. And the new T22 wedges feature 4 different sole grinds for varying techniques and conditions. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Sail on into Electronic Express for a boatload of deals during our Columbus Day sales event. Huge savings in every department, including all 4K TVs, laptops and tablets, speakers and headphones, mattresses, and more. Don't forget, we have up to 50% off all your appliance needs in stock and ready to deliver. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. Discover huge savings during the Columbus Day sales event at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment made between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use only. Down payment may be required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
This Saturday,
to the end zone for the touchdown. Johnson. He's going to go deep. Trey Palmer walks into the end zone.
It's an SEC showdown in the Bayou as the Florida Gators visit Max Johnson and the LSU Tigers. Coverage begins at 10
on ESPN,
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, Trey Wingo here. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Fireball Hot Take Friday. Stillman and company play silly underdog picks. That's right. Just bet on 3 college football underdog teams or pro. 3 underdog teams you think will win this week. Sign up before the games begin at the GameNashville.com. Silly Underdog Picks is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. A.J. Brown made his return last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars and didn't really do much. And so far this season, A.J. Brown and all the hype hasn't really done much. And so I find it to be a little interesting that A.J. Brown took to the podium today. We know that he's going to play. He's a full participant against the Buffalo Bills in practice so far. And for a team that buttons it up, that you know the coach doesn't want people talking about certain things, A.J. decided to let the media know that, well, he's not playing every snap right now for a reason. Here's what A.J. said today.
I want to be out there every snap. I know I'm not there yet. That'll come probably like week 10. I play the whole game, but because they won't allow me. That's just because they won't allow me yet. So, but whenever I'm in there, I gotta do what I gotta do and not try to just preserve energy. I gotta make plays when I'm in there. I gotta be effective. So.
Why week 10?
No, I mean not just certainly week 10, but just like later in the season. So, because when you get to the end of the end of the year, you want to be, like, rolling with all the guys on the field. So, yeah.
More so like a preserving. For
sure. Like Coach said, like, week 1 or week 2, he's like, he played me too much, which I played, like, 70, 80% of the snaps. Like, I can't control that, so.
I mean, for a team that I can guarantee you Vrabel doesn't want him saying that. I mean.
Oh, absolutely not.
Guarantee you. And here's the other part about it. I don't think AJ cares. Like, I think this is one of those things where Vrabel doesn't tell the media the truth about injuries or situations. There's not a lot of context there. So guys look at it. This isn't college football. Guys look at it and they're like, all right, fine, I'll just do it. If I feel like you're giving people a false idea about me, I'll just go tell them the truth. Bud Dupree did it last week. TD came on the show and said, hey, Bud Dupree explained why he hasn't been playing. He rushed himself back from injury too fast. He's worried about the knee. Bud Dupree wanted to get it out there. AJ clearly wants people to know that he's on a pitch count. So I wonder this. What do we make of the fact that AJ is on the pitch count? Do we think that it's a bad idea to have AJ on a pitch count? Because you could tell, I think, from listening to that AJ doesn't want to be on a pitch count. And what do you think about AJ basically bypassing Vrabel and just kind of doing it his way? Because we know Mike's never going to tell us that. And I think in week 1, AJ was asked before the Cardinals game. AJ was asked about his availability and things like that. He's like, oh, you got to talk to coach about that. Like, AJ knows. AJ's not stupid now. So what do we make of AJ Brown kind of letting us under the hood or inside the curtain or beneath the curtain, whatever, behind the curtain? What do we make of AJ doing that? And kind of probably sharing some information that Mike Vrabel doesn't want out there.
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate it because how many days have we spent speculating about something that Vrabel says, whether it's about Julio's injury or Bud Dupree's injury, A.J. Brown's health? We've just been speculating because Vrabel has given us minimal information. So I appreciate from A.J. Brown to at least get a little bit of context about what exactly is going on with this team. But the fact that he did it, knowing that Vrabel probably didn't want him to say that, knowing that Vrabel says close to nothing in every possibility that he can. I mean, we've talked about it on the show this week. Is there a little bit of, tension between Vrabel and these players? Is there a little bit of a culture issue? That's kind of why Ty Sambrailo ultimately decided to retire. So that makes me a little bit nervous that there could be a little bit of headbutting and a little bit of a power struggle maybe between Vrabel and the players.
So you think that this is because I think that's probably a little bit bigger picture than I think. I think AJ's frustrated. I think AJ's frustrated that he's not out there enough and he wants to be out there and the coaches don't want him out there. And when people look at it, because when you look at a stat sheet and you say, Julio Jones, 3 catches, we're like, that's not good enough. When they brought in Julio, we were expecting way more than 3 catches for Julio. And who do you blame? You blame Julio. It's like, well, Julio was supposed to come in here and be the guy, and Julio hasn't. AJ's telling you, they're not playing me enough for me to be A.J. Brown. And I think what the players, to your point, and I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, honestly. I just don't know if AJ's decision to tell us this was about, like, that it shows a divide between Vrabel and the players. I'm not sure I'm there. I think it does show me that the players feel like, Mike's going to do things his way, but we need to defend ourselves, and we're going to have to do things our way over here. Bud Dupree did it last week. AJ's doing it this week, which is, if I want my excuse to be out there, I'm the one who has to get the excuse out there because the coach is not going to tell the media that stuff. I'm not sure, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not sure if it speaks to like, oh, wow, look at this fundamental issue between the Titans players and the Titans coach.
No, it does make sense to have a little bit of self-defense because if I'm A.J. Brown or any other player on the team and all of the talk in the media, and we've seen that there are some Titans players that care about what the media says. If they're saying, A.J. Brown's not pulling his weight, A.J. Brown isn't what we expected, and A.J. Brown knowing good and well that he would love to be out there and, being a playmaker out there, but the coaching staff won't let him. I'm sure he wanted to defend himself in a way and say, look, I would love to be out there if I could, but that's just not an option for me right now. But even still, I go back to that's still a little bit of frustration in the coaching staff because if he wants to be out there and the coaching staff doesn't want him out there, and I get it, they want to preserve him. I don't necessarily believe in load management, but if A.J. Brown has had injuries and he's been dealing with injuries this season and knowing that he has a contract re-up this season and knowing that there's a lot up in the air surrounding A.J. Brown, I understand it. I don't necessarily know if I agree with it, but I understand it. But I still think there might be a little bit of animosity.
I'm not saying.
I don't know. I'm speculating.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I am not.
This is pure speculation.
So Ian says that Julio had an interesting quote about his hamstring on the injury report. Do we have that quote, Ian?
We do.
Okay, let's go ahead. I have not heard this. I'm guessing you probably haven't heard this either, Caroline. So Ian says Julio said this today.
What are some of the things that you've been doing just to kind of get back to where you need to be?
Just keeping a clear head, staying positive. That's it, and everything else, take care of yourself. I'm out here practicing, I'm out here flying around, and I feel good.
Is the hamstring a little bit concerning to you at all? Because I know it was last year.
Hamstring?
Well, you were on the injury report.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It was just tight, just precautionary reasons, things like that, but I feel
Holy
good.
crap!
What?
Holy crap! Dial this one back again. What?
What are some of the things that you've been doing just to kind of get back to where you need to be?
Just keeping a clear head, staying positive. That's it, and everything else, take care of yourself. I'm out here practicing, I'm out here flying around, and I feel good.
Is the hamstring a little bit concerning to you at all? Because I know it was last year.
Hamstring?
Well, you were on the injury report.
Yeah,
oh my God. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that hamstring thing I've been dealing with. I forgot about that.
I am making an executive decision right now on the show. Everything that Mike Vrabel tells us about Julio Jones, we can't believe anymore. I've decided.
I'm with it. I mean, I already didn't really believe anything that Mike Vrabel said about Julio Jones.
But we did see the Zapruder tape of of Julio Jones coming up and limping off the field in the Colts game. So we knew it was an injury. But when Vrabel comes out and has to put out these fires that he starts, as far as Julio's concerned, when he has to put out these fires, I got people that are telling me like, hey, you're going down the conspiracy theory route here on the Julio Jones stuff, and you guys, and because Chris Sanders has been big on not buying into any of this stuff. And Chris Sanders, and I'll give Chris credit. Now, I'll say this. Chris says some crazy stuff sometimes. But I'll give Chris credit because Chris was the one who heard John Robinson in a press conference talk about Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith and said, yeah, they're gone. Like he knew. Yep, they're gone. And so I think, he's kind of sat in that seat of listening to what the coach has to say or interpreting how he would feel about hearing that as a player. And Chris has not believed a lot of the Vrabel stuff with the Julio. And when Julio, these players, man, now it's starting to become, to Caroline's point about this being a bigger issue, about the divide between Vrabel and the players. I'm starting to think that there might be something to this. Because
I have a question.
Well, just Bud Dupree.
Go ahead.
Bud Dupree took it on his own to say, hey, this is the deal. AJ took it on his own to say, hey, this is the deal. And Julio Jones basically just told you that the Titans have lied to us for 3 weeks. So there you go. Wow.
Do you think Julio's reaction there was a genuine catching off guard? Like, do you think Julio Jones actually was like, oh, hamstring?
No, Julio knows he's been on the injury.
I think he did that on purpose.
Wow. That is
that's some tea now.
Here's the thing. Here's the question I'm going to ask. And you tell me if this is a fair question to ask. Because I don't like the label shock jock. Because I think a shock jock is like somebody like Howard Stern. And somebody that would go on and ask a politician oh yeah, do you like, tall women or short women or something like that? And that, just to get them, whatever. That's not me.
Just get everyone riled up.
Is it fair to ask the question, did Julio Jones just call Mike Vrabel a liar? Is that a fair question to ask?
I think that calling someone a liar is a big statement. Did Mike Vrabel lie? It kind of sounds like he did. But is Julio Jones calling him a liar? I think being a liar, you are a perpetual... You lie perpetually, and you do it for vindictive reasons. I don't necessarily know.
Did Julio Jones tell us that Mike Vrabel lied?
Yes. That's how I interpret it.
Ian, do you think that is, by the way, great get on that clip. Do you think that that is an irresponsible topic?
That's a good question. It's hard. I wouldn't say Julio's calling, anybody liar or anything like that. I just wonder what kind of clarification he got, what he knows about the injury report. Some of those things I feel like with AJ and Julio, it feels like they're getting a lot of heat from the fans and, all this fantasy community and their numbers aren't doing well and all these fans are in the offense and all this kind of stuff. So I do wonder if they're trying to take a little bit of heat off themselves.
Oh, no, I think that's definitely part of it. I mean, I told you, I think Dupree decided that, hey, I'm going to tell the fans what's up because Vrabel's not going to tell them. So I'll tell the fans what's up. And I think then the other guys on the team decided that they were going to look at this and say, hey, I'm going to tell them what's up. And this goes back to the thing that TD brought up, which is, does Vrabel do more harm being Johnny's secret keeper? Where everything is just a total and complete secret, and he can't ever be honest with anybody about anything. Because all it does is it leads to this just constant cycle of speculation and anger towards a player, or I don't know. Now, somebody has texted me and said, if you look at the video, Julio laughs when he says it. He doesn't want to talk about injuries, especially since he had a hamstring last year.
He kind of looks like he's kind of half joking, when he says it, but
he could just be joking.
Jokingly. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not, it's an interesting thing to joke about.
In all seriousness, maybe it's, I don't know, man. You say what you say. And I'm not saying that you can't joke around or anything like that, but I mean, to have to take I'm already have a little Sherlock Holmes microscope underneath, magnifying glass to figure out what half these people are saying anyways, and then to have to read into, well, he laughed at it at the I don't know. Adam is up next here on Stillman and Company. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so I was going to give you a Titans-Bills score, and I was confident in the Titans, and I hear that video clip, and that's completely changed. So I was like, oh, man, we match up well with them. Everybody's expecting us to suck because we've been sucking, and then you got the Bills who are the hottest team. But we're getting Julio back. But, man, there is nothing joking about what he just said. You hear it in his voice. He's like, oh, no, I don't have it. So it's basically, in my opinion, either they're giving him LeBron rest days or he's just they can't include him in the game plan and they're leaving him out. I don't think he's hurt. The way he said that makes me think he's not hurt, and that is very concerning as a season ticket holder.
So Adam's not taking the cheese. Thank you for the call. Adam's not taking the cheese that Julio was kidding around there. I mean, I wasn't there, and I haven't seen the video.
I don't know. I've gotten so used to having to interpret Titans press conferences because whatever you hear on the surface, it never really seems to be that simple.
Maybe we do need to thank the Predators for at least kind of telling us, whatever they feel.
I appreciate some transparency.
Even though we may not always like it, and they may not always like us, and by us, I mean me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can at least maybe give him a little hat tip for that. To your point, it does feel like we have to interpret every Titans press conference like a Talmudic scholar, just analyzing every little, just everything. And, Julio said what he said. I mean, I do think it's the one thing I do think is obvious. The players are now going out of their way to tell you what's up with him because Vrabel won't do it.
Why do you think Vrabel, if Julio wasn't kidding around and he genuinely was like, wait, hamstring what? And which implied that Vrabel has been not telling the truth about Julio's hamstring. Why do you think Mike Vrabel feels the need to not be 100% truthful?
The same reason that Mike Vrabel didn't name Shane Bowen defensive coordinator last year, because that's what Belichick does. It's really amazing that Vrabel took the job and everybody asked him 8,000 times about, what'd you learn from Belichick? to do this. And he talked about, well, I played for Bill Cowher, and I coached for Urban Meyer, and it's not just Bill, and he does a lot of things that are like Belichick, and sometimes I think he does them just because Bill did them. Like, oh, yeah, that's just how we did it in Foxborough, so that's how I'm going to do it here. Now, that has not
like
worked
Bill
out.
if you don't coach like Bill.
Well, that has not worked out for a lot of guys. It didn't work out for Joe Judge. It's not working out for Joe Judge. It didn't work out for Matt Patricia. But those guys also don't have Derrick Henry. And I do think that because Vrabel's not a Belichick coach, he was a Belichick player, I do think that's helped out a little bit. But, yeah, I think that's why Vrabel doesn't do it. And he'll say, well, I don't want to spend time, making excuses or talking about injuries at every press conference. And if I answer it once, then I have to answer it every time. And I understand that. But I think TD's probably right. Like, maybe a little bit more transparency would help. All right, let's pick some college games. Carolines is next. Stillman and Company. It's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's the Monday Night Giveaway. Be caller number 3 right now at 615-737-1025, and you'll qualify to win a pair of tickets to see Monday Night Football in Nashville on October 18th. Keep listening for your next chance to qualify
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
Severe thunderstorms will be possible this evening. All modes of severe weather. The threat should last through midnight, then looking to clear out with much cooler air arriving for Saturday. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
You may have heard that Allstate has new low auto rates, but isn't it time to see for yourself? Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
It's football season, and Social Furniture has the best lifetime guarantee motion furniture on sale now. Their sofas with recliners are push-button electric and wall-away with all colors to choose from for your comfort. Sectionals from $9.99, recliners from $3.99. Sectionals with chase lounge and all-electric recliners from $19.99. Social Furniture will have you football ready with all furniture that are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. Social Furniture has same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social.
Mortgage rates are on the move. Don't miss the chance to lock in the best rate of your lifetime with my friends at Loan Pronto. Hey, Willie Donick here. Call Loan Pronto today and take advantage of their super popular zero-cost refi program. So many people are doing this. You can get a rate with an APR in the low 2s with no junk fees, no closing costs. Yes, they pay your closing costs, even if you refinanced 6 months ago. Loan Pronto's all-digital process is fast and easy. Virtually no paperwork required. And most loans get closed in 14 days. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now and start the process. Don't wait on rates to spike again. If your current APR is over 2.75, call now for a free 30-second quote. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans eligible for zero-cost option.
Bob's Steak and Chop House is a renowned award-winning steakhouse in major cities across the U.S. Nashville is lucky to have a location here in downtown at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Fine dining is brought to a new level at Bob's with awards like the Wine Spectator Award 4 years in a row, TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 5 years in a row, and Open Tables Diner's Choice Award 6 years in a row. Fine dining at its best. Bob's Steak and Chop House, open Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Complimentary valet parking is always available.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics is conveniently located where you live and work. With over 10 locations in Nashville and surrounding communities, Houston physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, as well as many other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they are strictly adhering to all CDC guidelines for both their patients and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and to see a list of all Houston physicians and specialties, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Darren McFarland.
That should get you in the mood for a game tonight.
Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Hang out with Caroline Fenton this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as she previews the SEC football slate with Southeastern Carolina. She'll give you her picks of the day and get you set before kickoff around the South. It's time now for Caroline's.
Get in on the action. Put the money on the mahogany. What's on tap on the sports books? It's time to break it all down with Caroline's. Here on Stillman and Company.
On ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Caroline's is brought to you by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook for over 25 years. You can sign up at BetUS.com, mention promo code GAME, and get a sign-up bonus on your first deposit. We have an ALCS game tonight, Red Sox Astros, game 1 of the ALCS. Give me the Astros on the money line, minus 145. They're throwing out Framber Valdez on the mound, who's 11-6 with a 3.14 ERA in the regular season. It's his second start of the postseason, but in the regular season, he was 2-0 against Boston with a 1.26 ERA in 2 starts. He only gave up 1 run in each of those games, respectively. So I think that the Astros get it done. I think that they're the better team. I think they win this pitching matchup. Chris Sale on the mound for the Red Sox, who hasn't been great as of late. Ever since he came back from Tommy John last year, he hasn't really been himself. So give me the Astros.
Kike Hernandez goes yard. I'll take the Red Sox. What we got?
We've also got Ole Miss coming into Tennessee. Lane Kiffin makes his return to Knoxville. The spread here is 3, Ole Miss favored -3, but I'm going to take Ole Miss on the money line, minus 145. I think that this is going to be a barn burner game. I think that Tennessee keeps it close. I think it's going to be an incredibly high scoring game, and I think that Tennessee is going to prove something against Ole Miss, but I don't think that they necessarily get the win because we just have a bigger sample size from Ole Miss. We've seen Matt Corral do this before. We've seen Lane Kiffin and this team do it before. We've only seen the Vols have a super high-powered offense in 2 games, and I have no doubt that Tennessee could go out there and beat them handedly. But I feel most comfortable putting my money on Ole Miss just because we have a bigger sample size, and I think this game is going to come down to the turnovers, and Matt Corral has yet to throw an interception.
I have no doubt Tennessee could beat them handedly. You have no doubt?
They could. Doesn't necessarily mean I think they
doubt? Will. You have no doubt they could beat them handedly.
Yeah.
But you're picking Ole Miss.
I don't think they necessarily will.
Oh, I have a lot of doubt that they could beat them handedly. I'm taking the Vols, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking Tennessee. I think they're going to win.
Oh, boy.
I think the Vols are going to win. Give me the Vols 44-38. I think the Vols win. I don't know why I think the Vols win. I can't tell you. I think that Heupel's got it going on right now.
Just got a feeling in your gut?
I think there's something about the Alabama loss with Ole Miss that I can't get over, and I don't know what it is. The game's in Knoxville. I am not a huge Lane Kiffin guy. I think this will be a monumental win for Josh Heupel. Give me the Vols to win tomorrow.
I'm also going to take the under on this game. Over-under set at 79.5. And I think that it's going to be a very high-scoring game, but 80 is just a ridiculous point total. So I'm going to take the under as well.
Tell us about BetUS.
Caroline's is brought to you by BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook for over 25 years. You can sign up at BetUS.com, mention promo code GAME, and get a sign-up bonus on your first deposit.
Chad Withrow, Outkick 360, will join us next. I'm picking the Vols. What does he think about the Lane Kiffin return this weekend? Plus, Georgia and Kentucky and other games around the country as well. We'll get into that next. Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. You know I love Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Goes down so smooth and it tastes so great. There's no better way to ignite the night than to do it with ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Whether you're celebrating a return, like Caroline will be doing this weekend in Knoxville, whether you're celebrating a wedding like I will be tomorrow as well. We've got baseball, football, Monday night tailgates, you name it. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Ignite the night. Please do responsibly. Be 21 years or older to enjoy Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron. BetOnline.net is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football odds and news this season. Get all the updated info on players, teams, and odds to help you with your new football contests, leagues, and new survivor pools. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports. Pro sports, MMA, championship boxing, golf, horse racing, they have it all. Bring the game home with BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Richard Mosqueda spent 3 months shopping for a diamond and ended up buying one from a New York company online.
I looked online forever. I looked everywhere, and I finally found a great deal.
Well, he thought it was a great deal until he took the stone over to Genesis Diamonds to compare it with a Genesis stone.
And then I brought it here, and they gave me a better price and a better quality. The quality was so much better, and the price was so much better, you couldn't beat their price here.
So Richard boxed up the online diamond, got his money back, and bought the Genesis diamond. Not only did he get a better deal and a better diamond, he got lifetime service at no charge.
To me, there's a value to having a local place that says that we'll take care of everything. We'll clean your ring, we'll size it, and online you can't do that. And on top of that, they had to get the guarantees here and the warranties here were unbelievable.
Genesis Diamonds, where Nashville gets engaged.
Genesis is the best. They'll work with you, the customer service is unbelievable, and you can't beat the price.
Voted year after year as the best place in Nashville to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
You don't need to go anywhere else, just go to Genesis.
Genesis Diamonds.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. And if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology. But we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value, for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. Fireball Hot Take Friday, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are efforting Chad Withrow, Outkick 360 here, as he is on the road, as they are getting set for Outkick the Tailgate from Georgia and Kentucky in Athens. I'm a little surprised, and I get that, like, these are probably the two best teams in the East. A little surprised that that's the SEC game of the week. I'm just saying. We also have got to get his thoughts on the Titans wide receivers kind of going rogue in discussing their injuries, although I guess you can take the Julio comments as tongue-in-cheek. But you can interpret it however you want to interpret it. I will say this. I am picking the Vols to win tomorrow. And when I saw that Tyon Evans was hurt, I got a little worried. Because I thought if they're going to do it, they're going to do it by running the ball. And, yes, you know, they've got more than one back. And, yes, Jabari Small has, you know, been the, 1B. But it's like I'm picking the Vols in the last segment, Caroline, but I'm struggling with feeling confident about picking the Vols.
Yeah, I was very shocked that you picked the Vols because I don't really think that you fully believe it. Like we said yesterday, you said, okay, it's wins against Missouri and South Carolina, which is true, which is why I honestly felt a little bit nervous about taking the Vols, was that what they did against Missouri and South Carolina should absolutely get this fan base excited. That offense looks very, very exciting and looks like it can be a threat.
But
I just haven't seen them do it against anyone other than Missouri and South Carolina.
And that's the thing that I hope I'm not getting caught up in. Like, how can I tell Tennessee fans, hey, don't get caught up in it? My buddy, I told the story earlier today. My buddy texts me out of the blue. His girlfriend is a Tennessee fan. He is a Texas fan. And he texted me earlier today and was talking about how in the world could they be so excited, Tennessee fans? He said this. He goes, real talk, where is the UT confidence coming from? I said their beat down of Missouri. Like, the beat down of South Carolina didn't really mean much, did it?
It meant something to me in that the Missouri game was not just a fluke.
Both combined, I think, really is, if you would have only one of the two like that, but you combine them both, I think it's a double whammy.
Exactly.
He said, that just seems so dumb. Beating up on trash teams, SMH. Now, again, the guy's a Texas fan, so if there's anybody who beats up on trash teams, it's probably Texas. I said Tennessee might win, but I think it's because Lane Kiffin is a clown. I guess I haven't brought that up yet, like that I think that Lane actually is going to hurt Ole Miss in this game. I can't get over Lane's selfish coaching in the Alabama game. Like,
He hurt that team in the Alabama game.
I was never a huge Lane guy, but that was so about his ego going for it on fourth down in just stupid situations, because it was like he was coaching this game thinking, okay, I know how to call the plays. I am such a great offensive coach that we can go for it on 4th and 3 inside our own territory, and I'm so confident in my ability to get us a first down as the coach that we're going to do this and it's going to work. And I remember thinking that, like, what? Like, no? Like, that's just dumb. And I think that this is a game where Lane is going to, want to show off, just like the Alabama game. I think there's going to be something where Lane wants to, and Lane can talk all he wants about how he doesn't care about sticking it to UT fans. I think Lane probably embraces it enough. Like, he's a Twitter troll. And so I do think that Lane is going to coach himself out of this game, because that's what he does, just like he did the Alabama game. So I told my buddy that I'm going to take Tennessee because I think Lane Kiffin's a clown. He said, I think it's not going to be close. Ole Miss by 10. UT is too hyped and too confident. And then he asked me if I was going to the game, and I am not going to the game. Are we making too much? And I say, are we? Am I making too much? Because, again, I'm the one picking the Vols. Am I making too much of the fact that they beat Missouri and South Carolina when all week I've been telling people, guys, it's Missouri and South Carolina. Everybody calm down.
Well, I don't think it was the fact that the Vols beat Missouri and South Carolina. I think it was the way that they did it. I think it was the absolute smackdown of Missouri. That game was never even close. The momentum that game had. South Carolina was the same way. They had big time numbers in that game. So it's not just a win here and there. It wasn't just, Alabama squeaking by Florida by 2 points. Like, those were big time games. And I think it's the contrast of what we are so used to seeing Tennessee football be in the past 10 years and what this team looks like now. It looks like there is absolutely a light at the end of the tunnel, and this team keeps getting closer and closer. So no, it's not ridiculous. But if I'm going to put my money on it, if I'm going to bet on it, I'm going to take the team that has been that more reliable, has been that much of an offensive powerhouse for longer. But I don't think you can read too much into those games unless you're thinking that Tennessee is going to beat Alabama. Then I think that's a little bit far-fetched. But I don't think it's crazy to think that Tennessee can win this game.
I think Tennessee's going to win. I hate this. I hate that I'm now like second guessing. The one time that I picked Tennessee to win, I hate that I'm second guessing it. And I am second guessing it. But I do think Tennessee's going to win. Here's what we'll do. We'll effort chat on the other side. 615-737-1025. We'll also get to your phones as well. We'll do that. So we'll effort chat on the other side. We'll take your phone, 615-737-1025. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Titans Bills. Monday Night Football returns to Music City. Tune in Monday from 5 to 7 for NFL pregame with Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Mark Howard. Live from Rock Bottom Brewery and Restaurant on Broadway.
This is October football.
They're going to come out and have to protect Tannehill.
The coaches know a lot more than we do.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
Family Leisure invites you to relax at home this fall with all our indoor products on sale now.
Family Leisure has theater seating, massage chairs, pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and game tables in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
Enjoy the movie theater experience in the safety and comfort of your own home with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets start at only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $14.99 as well.
Well, I want to redo our game room with a pool table for me and an air hockey and foosball table for the kids, maybe even a ping pong table.
Family Leisure has 30 pool tables on display, hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $14.99 installed.
And don't forget the shovelboard tables, a game everyone can play.
Family Leisure has above ground pools in stock and ready for immediate installation.
And there's great sale prices on outdoor and wicker furniture. Huge selection still in stock. That's Family Leisure's Relax at Home sale.
At both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with Mizuno irons and wedges. The JPX 921 Hot Metal Pro, Tour, and Forged irons offer Mizuno's fastest ball speeds ever. And the new T22 wedges feature 4 different sole grinds for varying techniques and conditions. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
With Fundbox, you can stop waiting and start doing. If your small business needs funds to grow, the time is now. Fundbox offers fast, easy access to small business funding up to $150,000. So hire that new employee, launch that campaign, buy that piece of equipment. Apply in minutes at fundbox.com, and you could get funding as soon as the next business day. Fundbox. Ready, set, grow. Credit line amounts, rates, and terms are based on creditworthiness and subject to change. Additional documentation may be required.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Vols and Ole Miss tomorrow night. Kentucky and Georgia tomorrow afternoon. Chad Withrow will be in Athens. Outkick the Tailgate tomorrow morning on the Outkick Network. He joins us now. Where are you on your way to Athens? Are you in like a part of society at this point?
I am not in society unless you consider society somewhere in a holler in North Georgia, because there was an accident south of Chattanooga, and then the obvious traffic, rush hour traffic in Atlanta that Hutton and I were trying to circumvent. So we actually went through North Carolina. We went to Cleveland, Tennessee, hiked over east, went through North Carolina, and now into North Georgia. We are currently 40 miles from Athens and coming out of the Chattahoochee Forest as we speak. So Cell service has been spotty. I appreciate your patience.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm picking Tennessee to win tomorrow, and as soon as I did it, I started second-guessing myself. Am I getting too caught up in the Missouri and South Carolina wins? And I thought Lane Kiffin's selfish coaching in the Alabama game is going to bite him in the rear end tomorrow. I think Tennessee's got a real chance. I think this is a big game for Vol fans. I think it's a huge game for Josh Heupel's first year. I think they're going to win. Am I crazy?
You're not crazy at all. I mean, I think this is going to be a really good game. I'd be surprised if it wasn't either way. But I don't know that I'm willing to pick Tennessee in this game, and it's for this reason. You know, their defense has been good, but their defense wasn't as good against a really good quarterback in Kenny Pickett, and they're going to see a much better quarterback in Matt Corral tomorrow night. So, you know, you go into it saying, okay, the last 2 weeks, is that Tennessee's offense really, or is it something a little bit less than that? If it's something a little bit less than what we've seen the last 2 weeks, I think Tennessee loses in a shootout. Would not surprise me if they won the game. But I think Matt Corral is the difference. I don't think Tennessee's defense has seen anything like him. They're not going to see anything like him again or any other time this year except against Bryce Young in Alabama. I like Ole Miss in a close game, but I think Josh Heupel in year one so far has done pretty well, and he's got Tennessee on pace for 6 wins, which is a good year. If they beat Ole Miss or Kentucky and get to 7, I think it's a great year for Tennessee in year one.
Now, you and I both know that Josh Heupel was not the sexy choice when Tennessee made the hire, and I think Tennessee fans were kind of in wait-and-see mode. I think they like what they've seen so far. How big would a win over Lane Kiffin be for Josh Heupel building the fan base back?
It'd be huge. You know, it'd be a signature win, and it's not just because it's Lane Kiffin. It's because they're 13th in the country. You know, that's one you get in year one that you can always go back and say, oh, look, you know, we beat a top 15 opponent. And Josh Heupel can hang his hat on that. I mean, I think it's enormous. It's really, in terms of chances of winning, he's got 2 chances for a true signature win this year left, and that's against Ole Miss and Kentucky, because he's got no shot against Bama. He's got no shot against Georgia. So I think these are the last 2 opportunities, you know, to really get it done and get that signature win. But either way, I think he's got Tennessee on track to where we've seen improvement already offensively, obviously. But he's got Tennessee on track to really make something happen.
Are you a huge Lane Kiffin believer as Lane the head coach? Because I know Lane can drop a play on any defense with any quarterback, and he can score points, but I just don't think he buttons it up enough, and I thought he got embarrassed in the Alabama game. I don't know if he thought trolling Nick Saban was going to end well for him, but I felt like he coached that game too arrogantly, going for it on 4th down, thinking he could get it. I'm not a huge Lane Kiffin guy, and we were kicking around earlier today as to who the better head coach is between Lane Kiffin or Mark Stoops. And I mean, I think you got maybe an argument for. I'm just not a huge Lane guy. How much do you think about his ability to be a head coach in this game Saturday?
I mean, it's got to be Mark Stoops, right? I mean, I don't know that that's a big debate in terms of a head coach. And I say that not to disparage Kiffin as a head coach. It's to say that I need to see it for longer than, 3 or 4 years. How long was he at FAU? 2 years? 3 years? I mean, he's not stayed anywhere long enough other than being fired at USC and fired quickly with the Raiders to know how great of a head coach he is. I'd say the same about Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel's a great offensive mind. He did very well at Missouri. He did well at Oklahoma before that, and he was okay in a short tenure at UCF as a head coach. But I don't know what Josh Heupel is long-term as a head coach. I know what Mark Stoops is, and he's gotten Kentucky to heights they've never been at before since Bear Bryant was the head coach of Kentucky. So, yeah, I mean, I think the verdict isn't out on Lane Kiffin as an offensive mind, an offensive coach, but I do think there is a bit of a verdict out on him as a head coach. I just need to see more of this at Ole Miss for a longer sustained period. But here's the thing, Jared. I don't think we're going to get a chance to see that because someone else is going to hire this. Might be LSU, might be someone else, but that's been Lane Kiffin's track record. People buy in, people believe in him, and I think he's going to get a better opportunity than Ole Miss very soon.
What are the chances that you think that Kentucky actually has a shot at Georgia, or what would be your bar of interesting for this game tomorrow?
Well, I say this, fully admitting that I said the Jets had no chance on your show against the Titans. I say this fully admitting that on our Outkick the Tailgate show in College Station, I said that Texas A&M had no shot to come within 3 touchdowns of Alabama last week. We know what happened there. But I'll say it again. I'll tee it up one more time. Kentucky has no chance against Georgia in this game. I don't think it's particularly interesting. I think it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a defensive-type game, but it's one that is going to be won, 24-6, 28-7, something like that by Georgia. I just really don't give Kentucky much of a chance because Kentucky has not been great offensively, and we know what Georgia is defensively. I just don't think Kentucky can score enough to make this thing interesting, regardless of who's playing quarterback for Georgia.
I think about this game, and I'm like, the only reason that I think that Kentucky, and I don't think they have a chance, but the only thing that I think really matters in this game is if Kentucky can keep this game close, and I do believe in moral victories sometimes, if Kentucky can keep this game close, I think it may cement them as the third best team in the SEC, certainly the second best team in the East. And for Mark Stoops, those aren't the expectations. We were just talking about, him or Lane Kiffin, and you said you got to go with Mark Stoops. I think you're right. And, I kind of know Mark Stoops, and I'm stunned at the level of sustained success he's had at Kentucky with no real quarterback play. And yet it's hard to argue with the results that he got, especially considering how bad they were before he got there in 2014.
Well, and you can argue that they're going to finish second in the East this year, more than likely, at this point. If things play out the way they shouldn't, they can't slip up and lose to Tennessee or lose one of these games coming up. But let's say they do get, run out of the building by Georgia tomorrow. It's still finishing second in the SEC East to Kentucky is probably their ceiling. I mean, I don't see this team going to an SEC championship game. So if that's the case, Mark Stoops has led Kentucky to their pinnacle, which is being the second best team in the SEC East. That's a difficult accomplishment. So I give full credit to Mark Stoops. And I'm like you, I can't believe I'm saying this because I was never fully on board with Mark Stoops for, those first 5 or 6 years really in Lexington. But, I mean, he can name his price in Kentucky right now to stay. And he's got them as the second best team in the SEC East, which is remarkable when you think about the history of Kentucky football.
What do you make of the rest of the SEC right now? Alabama has to win out, including beat Georgia, in order to get in the playoff. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but they did. They got embarrassed last week in College Station. A&M, who's already lost a couple of games, obviously best game they've played this season. Arkansas loses to Ole Miss in a great shootout. I think the SEC outside of Georgia is all over the place. How much do you think that perhaps not being in a pandemic has brought the SEC back to what we're used to watching on Saturdays?
I mean, I hate to say this, but I still think it's Georgia and Alabama. Mm-hmm. I think last week was a blip on the radar for Alabama. It was a great coaching job, especially by Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator for Texas A&M. But it's still Georgia and Alabama. That game's going to be really close when they play in the championship game, and I still think it's going to happen. And then it's everyone else. Now, Jared, the rest of the conference, when you go to that next tier, and I'm putting a Tennessee and Ole Miss in that tier together, I think it's really interesting. Auburn, Arkansas tomorrow. That's a great game. That's not one that's going to be played for a college football playoff spot, but that's a really good, compelling game. LSU's got the talent to beat Florida. They don't have the coaching necessarily, but they've got the talent to do it. So I think when you get into that next tier past Alabama and Georgia and you look at those 7, 8 to 10 teams in the conference, I think they're all really compelling matchups. And then you've got the bottom of the conference, which is pretty clearly Vandy, South Carolina, Missouri. I think they're probably a slight step below, and in some cases a giant step below that middle group.
What do you think Alabama's loss does to the college football playoff picture and how you kind of see the dominoes starting to fall as we get deeper into the season?
Makes it much more likely for the Big Ten to get 2 teams in the college football playoff. Makes it more difficult for the SEC to eventually get 2 in there, but I still think that Alabama is going to be in the playoff when all is said and done. I still think the most likely scenario is 2 Big Ten teams and 2 SEC teams in that college football playoff. Now, with Iowa's win, Iowa up until the Nebraska game at the end of the year.
Rural Georgia got us. Let's see. Oh, you know you can't trust rural Georgia. Oh, it got us. We'll check back in with Chad. But I do kind of agree. Like, I don't see two SEC teams getting in the college football playoff, though. Like, that I just don't see.
Yeah, I expected two teams to get in because I did not expect Alabama to lose a regular season game. I thought Georgia and Alabama would go undefeated throughout the season, and then they would meet in the SEC championship, and then they would both get in. But at this rate, unless Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, I could see both of them getting in.
So we'll try to reconnect with Chad because we have not got his thoughts on the Titans game this week, Monday Night Football against the Bills. But I was really wondering where he was going with Iowa. Two Big Ten teams, two SEC teams. Now, okay, so, Chad, you were talking about Iowa's win, two Big Ten teams, two SEC teams, before rural Georgia snapped us. What do you – give us kind of your thought now that Iowa did beat Penn State on Saturday.
Yeah, rural Georgia gets the best of us. So Iowa, look, they should skate into the Big Ten championship game. Iowa has a way of losing one you absolutely expect them to win. But outside of that Nebraska game at the end of the year, they should be there in the Big Ten championship undefeated. And even if they lose to, let's say, Ohio State in that Big Ten championship, they're going to have a great shot at the playoffs. So I still think the most likely scenario is two Big Ten teams, two SEC teams. We got to wait and see on Cincinnati. They've got one really good win over Notre Dame, one pretty good win over Indiana. They're going to blow everyone else out on their schedule. Will that be enough? I don't know. But that's kind of how I see the playoff right now.
I will say this. Trevor Maddich came on our show on Tuesday and said he would make Ohio State the number 2 team in the country because he thinks they've got their defensive issues figured out. And while I will not go there right now, I will say this. I really, really don't want to have to take back celebrating Ohio State's demise.
Well, and Kerry Combs, that was the reason, right? They take away
I'll tell you what,
his play calling responsibility, and they're good again.
That's what bothers me about Vrabel, is I don't think Vrabel can handle the coaching staff really well. And you see the one guy that leaves here and goes somewhere else does a terrible job. And, yes, that bothered me too.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, the Mike Vrabel thing as defensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel as head coach versus Mike Vrabel defensive coordinator. And when Mike Vrabel defensive coordinator starts to interfere with Mike Vrabel the head coach, I think you could probably spend an hour on that topic alone.
We have spent many hours on that topic, as I'm sure you have as well. Coming up next with Chad, I want your thoughts on the Bills Monday night game. Speaking of Vrabel, could this be the Mike Vrabel Monday night special where they win a game that they have no business winning? We'll get his thoughts on that. Plus, what AJ and Julio had to say today, we'll get Chad's thoughts on that as well. Stillman and Company's delivered by TriStar Moving. It's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Matt Duchesne, and this is Smashville.
Here's Duchesne breaking in. He scores! Matt Duchesne wins it in double overtime!
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey Nashville, we think you deserve the very best driving experience, and now is the time for our Season of Change CPO event at Mercedes-Benz of Music City. When you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you're backed by the remaining new vehicle limited warranty. Once that expires, the certified pre-owned limited warranty goes into effect, providing an additional 12 months of coverage with unlimited miles. See all the perks and exceptional offers for your certified pre-owned vehicle from Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
Are you a father that is passionate about your fundamental constitutional right to parent your own child or children? Has your parenting time or your income been affected by COVID? This is Amanda J. Gentry, and I am a fierce defender of your constitutional rights. The courts in Tennessee are under an obligation to maximize equal parenting time. We do not live in an every other weekend world anymore. At the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, fathers are extremely important, much like my own father was. Go to AmandaJGentry.com or call or text 615-604-6263. That's AmandaJGentry.com.
Listen up, sports bettors. This is Hall of Famer Warren Sapp here to tell you about my favorite sports book, BetUS.com. I only endorse one sports book, and that's BetUS.com. Just like me, BetUS is the Hall of Famer of online betting with more than 25 years in the biz. Call today, and they will get you set up faster than I can run the 40. I play at BetUS, and so should you. BetUS.com.
Use code GAME for a sign-up bonus.
Tell them Sapp sent you.
It's the sound of the skates sliding on the ice. It's the rumble of music and vibration under your feet. It's the sea of gold sweeping across Bridgestone Arena. The Nashville Predators are back in action with the excitement you've been waiting for. These are the golden moments you do not want to miss. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to secure your seat. Grab your gold and show your pride because we're painting the town Preds. Smashville! It's time for Nashville Predators hockey. Visit NashvillePredators.com today.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Craneworks is ready to help lift Nashville. As the Southeast's most trusted name in crane and equipment rental for over 30 years, Craneworks offers certified operators to make sure the job is done right. Rentalworks has a diverse fleet of equipment to assist in any project, big or small. From forklifts to carry deck cranes, they have it all. When it's time for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project, call Craneworks. Visit Craneworks.com.
Rock Bottom Nashville is Broadway's original brewery, where all brews are brewed on site. Josh Rappaport is Rock Bottom's brewmaster, creating fresh craft beers where peak flavors are always the rule. Grab one of their blockbuster beers to pair with their nachos, pretzel bites, and delicious flatbreads. They even have group catering. They boast one of the best views of downtown Nashville and is a short walk to Titan Stadium. And enjoy happy hour Monday through Friday afternoons from 2 until 6. Rock Bottom Nashville, 111 Broadway.
It's football season, and Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. Right now, they're running a tune-up special for one system for only $55. You heard that right. A great tune-up special for only $55. One of the many ways you can save at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. You get 6 months no-interest financing available on repairs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, locally owned and operated, offering premium service without the premium price. Visit springhillac.com or call them at 615-778-8855.
Saturday night.
They've done it again! Hadi Mukhtar delivers!
Nashville Soccer Club returns from their break with an Eastern Conference showdown on the road against DC United. Coverage begins at 6:15
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, be sure to join us. We'll be live at Rock Bottom for the pregame show 5 to 7, getting you set for the Titans and the Bills. And join us in partnering with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Light the Night. Light the Night brings light to the darkness of cancer through hope, research, and support for patients and families. Nashville's Light the Night will be virtual and take place on November 4th. Learn more at lightthenight.org/TN. Chad Withrow, Outkick 360, with us on Stillman & Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Monday Night Football, Titans and Bills. Last year they played on Tuesday Night Football, and nobody expected the Titans to win. They hadn't practiced in a week. They had COVID issues all over the roster. They turned Josh Allen over 3 times. They embarrassed Buffalo on national TV. The one thing about Vrabel, they play up and they play down to their opponents. So when it drives you insane when they lose to the Jets, sometimes they go out and beat Brady and Belichick with Mariota and Corey Davis. So do you think Mike Vrabel can pull the rabbit out of his hat against the number 1 offense in the NFL and the number 1 defense in the NFL in the Bills?
No, I don't see it against this Bills team. And I don't know. I think Todd Downing did a better job. I've got a real issue with Todd Downing so far, taking over for Arthur Smith. I thought he was better against Jacksonville, but I also am a little bit sympathetic to Todd Downing because it's really difficult to call plays when your offensive line can't give your quarter 2.5 seconds to throw the football. So those reasons, I mean, I think Vrabel's going to have a good game plan. I think that they're going to try some different things. I fully expect, a different, I'm not going to say coaching effort because I think they're trying hard, a different level of coaching creativity, let's say, from Mike Vrabel and his game. But I don't think it's enough. I think Buffalo is too good. Buffalo's the best team.
Are you disappointed by what you see so far out of AJ and Julio? Not just the injuries and the fact that they've been unavailable, but are you worried? You brought up the offensive line. Are you worried that the offense is not doing enough? Oh, we got snapped by rural Georgia again. Oh, I know that feeling. I mean, I went to college at Louisville, and so there were like spots, and like it's a straight shot on 65 North. It's a straight shot right up in there. But there are like spots, like when you get towards like Elizabethtown and some of those smaller, spots in Kentucky, you get to those spots and it'll snap you. I'm sure Louisiana had a lot of areas like that are kind of snappy.
Well, I didn't. Whenever I would drive home from Baton Rouge, I never went through a lot of Louisiana. It was mostly Mississippi. But there were definitely some areas. Now, whenever you get into the bayou south of New Orleans, surface was hard to come by now.
So I was asking Chad this question, which I think is kind of interesting, which is AJ and Julio are going to play on Monday night. So you got Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Julio Jones, Anthony Ferkser, who had a knee injury, although, I mean, I don't know what many people think. Anthony Ferkser, I think, that was just kind of like exciting hype. Delaney Walker says Ferkser's going to be great. Kevin Byard says Ferkser's going to be great. They haven't. But I kind of wonder if, I'm kind of depressed. I'm honestly kind of depressed about the fact that the offense, and they're 10th in the NFL, and they've got the best running back in the NFL, but I'm kind of depressed that I can't look at this Titans offense that we were and everybody was hyping up during the offseason and saying, oh, yeah, they can go toe-to-toe with the Bills, because I don't think the Titans offense can go toe-to-toe with the Bills.
I don't think so either. I mean, when you look at it, like the only advantage that the Titans have over the Bills, and I think that you could make this advantage over most any team that they play, is their rushing attack, is Derrick Henry. You have Derrick Henry, and the Bills don't. And I'll go back to what I said is, if I'm going to pick this game with my head, I have to pick the Bills. Because in every area except running back, the Bills have the advantage.
Oh, the Bills are, and I don't even look at, like, the Bills' offense to the Titans' offense. I look at the Bills' defense.
Yeah.
To the Titans' offense.
The Bills have some bad boys on defense.
I already know that the Titans' offense isn't as good as the Bills' offense. I also know the Titans' defense isn't as good as the Bills' offense. And that's
100%.
The only thing I can bank on, and I know people are going to get mad, the only thing I can bank on in this game is that I believe in my heart that every now and then Vrabel will show you a game that you are just not expecting, and they will go out there and they will dominate, and you will just not believe it. Like, you will just be stunned that how could Blaine Gabbert beat the Texans? That's the only thing I've got. Maybe this is the game where you have to fake a punt for a touchdown, or you have to fake a field goal, or you have to do something like I don't know.
You can get a little cute with it.
It kind of reminds me of the Kansas City game a couple years ago where they needed Kansas City to fumble. Rashawn Evans picked it up and ran it into the end zone for a touchdown. They needed 2 bad field goals at the end of the game. They needed a Derrick Henry 80-yard touchdown run, and they still needed a fourth quarter comeback from Tannehill.
I thought about that game earlier today. I don't know. You said something about, I don't know. I don't see a path. How can they find a way? And that was
the clip.
That was the first thing. I was like, oh, it sounds like that Kansas City game a couple of years ago.
The one time that Floyd has ever asked Ian to dial up audio.
To cold take you on that.
To cold take me on saying they had no chance against the Chiefs. It's pretty amazing. I have not said they have no chance against the Bills, which would be kind of par for the course. I have not said that. And I did not, and I told you all I was scared to death of the Jets. And I only know it like, I can't imagine starting the radio show at 2 o'clock on a Friday 2 weeks ago if the GM were here saying that I was scared to death of the Jets. Because normally it's my job to be like, oh, the Jets, they stink. They in the NFL, didn't have that issue. We'll get to your phones because I see them on the text line, so we'll just hit some of your texts. And we got 6-pack picks, where we will make our official Titans pick for Monday Night Football. We'll do that next. Do you want to win a pair of tickets to see the Doobie Brothers at Bridgestone Arena on October 25th? Head over to YouTube and subscribe to the 1025 The Game YouTube page, and you'll enter for your chance to see the Doobie Brothers. Once you subscribe, email us at promotions@cromwellmedia.com with your YouTube handle. One winner will be chosen on Monday, October 18th. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel because it is Caroline Fenton's job. And if you do not subscribe to the YouTube channel, I'm not saying she's going to get fired, but I'm also not saying that she's not going to not get fired.
Well, I really like my job, so I would appreciate it if you all would just go ahead and subscribe.
And so subscribe. And if not, Stillman and Company might have to have different company.
That's pretty sad.
Might have to have, try to think of who we could pick up off the street to come in and bring in off the practice squad.
Someone with big shoes to fill, that's for sure.
Yeah, huge shoes to fill. Huge. Anywho, go subscribe to the YouTube page and help Caroline out. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
Severe thunderstorms will be possible this evening. All modes of severe weather. The threat should last through midnight, then looking to clear out with much cooler air arriving for Saturday. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Need a new roof? Get a roof built with integrity from E2 Roofing. E2 is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 95 five-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 90 five-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 assists customers with roof repair and replacements through insurance claim assistance. Find out if insurance will pay for your new roof with a free inspection at e2roofingnashville.com.
More machines, more savings, and more muscle. Only with John Deere construction equipment from Meade Tractor. Hit the heavy jobs harder with our Own It offer and get special financing on select models. New, used, or rent, we have the right equipment and technology solution for you with the affordable financing you need. Contact us today at our Nashville location or go online at meadtractor.com.
Offer valid on qualified purchases and new equipment between now through October 31st, 2021. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial for commercial use only. Down payment may be required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
The St. Jude Rock and Roll Running Series Nashville returns to the Music City, November 18th through 20th. You don't have to be a runner to enjoy the excitement of Nashville's premier downtown race. Come help your community as well as the thousands of runners by volunteering. With over 1,000 positions available, there's a spot for everyone. Head to NashvilleSports.com for more information and get a free t-shirt when you register to volunteer. We'll see you there.
Brian Porth back again to tell you about Dr. Kelly Rice, Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. I was reading some stats recently, Dr. Rice, and I did not realize the ADA says that 80% of people in the U.S. have some form of gum disease.
That's right, Ryan, but our non-surgical periodontal therapy is painless and effective in keeping your mouth healthy, and the mouth is the window to the health of the rest of the body.
What else is new and different at Cool Springs Laser Dentistry?
Well, first, who doesn't want whiter teeth? Our new Zoom LED whitening system is less sensitive, and you get more than 5 shades of whitening. And we just upgraded both our lasers to kill bacteria during your cleaning.
Some people get painful cold sores. Can lasers help that too?
Yes, the gentle laser setting will kill the virus in your cold sores all naturally while reducing the healing time by half. And our special soft tissue wand uses warm, light laser therapy to give instant relief to severe TMJ pain. Our approach to holistic dentistry is unique.
Give them a call today at 615-373-4488 or visit kellyerice.com. You'll be glad you did.
From curriculum-based literacy programs and sport leagues to college tours and workforce readiness tracks, Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provide a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
The 1025 The Game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai. Online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Be a part of the conversation by calling or texting us at 615-737-1025.
Robbie Stanley.
Coming in off the water. Yeah. Coming in there to tailgate.
Joe Rexroad.
That was fun.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexroad every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
Stillman and Company, by the way, congratulations to Matthew Haley and Tony Ewells, Those are our two winners and the Monday Night Football ticket giveaway. So Matthew Haley and Tony Yules will be going to see Monday Night Football on Monday night. I will be going to see Monday Night Football on Monday night. Will you be going to see Monday Night Football on Monday night?
I will be going to see Monday Night Football on Monday night.
She'll be going to see Monday Night Football on Monday night. Ian, you going to Monday Night Football on Monday night?
That's a negative.
If we found a babysitter, would you be going to Monday Night Football on Monday night?
That's an interesting question. Maybe.
Because, I mean, I don't want to invite you over the air, but if you want to go to Monday Night Football on Monday night, let me know, and you can go to Monday Night Football on Monday night, Ian.
I appreciate that. I will talk that over with the powers that be.
See,
and just to clarify, Ian, that is Monday night.
Which night?
It's on Monday. It's Monday Night Football on Monday night.
Okay,
yeah.
thank
you. I'm sorry. The last time these two teams played was on a Tuesday night.
On Monday Night Football on a Tuesday, yes.
On a Tuesday night. And I will say this about that. I enjoyed Tuesday Night Football. I was like,
It was at a weird time and everything. It was wild.
I was like, the NFL could do this. Tuesday Night Football wouldn't be bad. I remember, I think it was like at 6 o'clock was when the game kicked off, or like 5:30 was when the game kicked off, and Ryan was like, so are you guys going to do 30 minutes while the game's on? Or it was something like this. And I was like, no. And he's like, why? Because anybody who listens to the Stillman and Company show is watching the Titans game.
Imagine Floyd trying to do the show and watch the Titans game, or you trying to do the show and watch the Titans game. Now that would be some radio.
People don't know. Floyd hated the fact that, like, if we were doing a pregame show in Cool Springs, he was totally for it because it was by his house. He hated the fact that he would miss like the first 3 series of the game, driving back from the pregame shows. If he would miss like a series or two, he hated it, which probably comes as a surprise to nobody.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Not at all. Let's take some phones before we get to six-pack picks. Phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
One texter texts in about the college football playoff conversation that you and Chad were having. Shane says, to be fair, I don't think Cincinnati has a true chance of being in the playoffs because Murray State hung with them until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they look at that. They look at that. You look at that like on a week-to-week basis, but I don't think when you get to like truly sitting around the boardroom that they talk about, was it close in the fourth quarter in that third game? Now, I do think if you lose one of those games, it matters, but I just think, to me, the college football playoff, really the biggest thing is how many losses do you have? That's the number one criteria year over year about making the college football playoff is how many losses. Because, look, they've put in teams that haven't won their conference championship. They've put in teams that did win their conference championship and that, had lost to a team that was better than them that hadn't won. Like, they've done all that. But what they've never done, they put an Alabama team in there that didn't even win the SEC West. But what they've never done is they've never put a 2-loss team into the college football playoff. And so that's what matters to me. You lose 2 games, you're out. What's next?
Another texter texts in about the Vols and says, the only way that I will be pissed on Saturday is if the Vols come out and completely crap the bed and get beat by 3 scores. I'm expecting a close game, but I'm toward Ole Miss winning.
I can kind of see anything happening in this game. Like,
I
could see Ole Miss blowing out the Vols. I could see it. I mean, like I told you that I'm picking Tennessee. I am not confident whatsoever in my pick of the Vols, but I am picking the Vols, which is going to be great when Tennessee wins. And I'm like, I was picking them. And the text line blows up with all these people that are like, you said you weren't even confident with that pick. How can you make that? You weren't confident. I'm telling you, I'm picking them to win.
Or if Tennessee doesn't win, I can't wait for Monday when you say, why would I have taken the Vols? That's what I get for picking the Vols. I'm never doing it again.
44-38 Vols. Let's get to six-pack picks presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Ian, how do we do last week?
Jared with another good week.
Dang it.
Based on my schedule, or based on my records here, 5-0-1. You guys had a push last week with the Cincy Green Bay at 3.
Oh.
So 2 weeks in a row, Jared does not have a loss. 6-0 and then 5-0-1. Caroline went 2-3-1 this past week. So let's see.
I think we need to recount that. I don't think that's right.
No, we need a recount?
No, I'm kidding.
2-3-1. Let's see. Got the Chargers and got Tennessee, but Caroline missed
we're good, Ian.
the Giants, Kansas City, Baltimore.
What's our
season records?
That's all right.
Jared is now at 17-12-1, and Caroline is at 13-16-1.
Somebody's got
Bounce
some
back
making up to
week.
do. Let's get right
I know.
to it, Ian.
I know.
Okay, not thrilled with the NFL slate this week. I'll be honest with you. I had some trouble trying to figure out our games, but we will start with a good game. Noon, CBS, Chargers at the Ravens. Over-under on this game is 51. Baltimore is -2.5. Who's first, Jared?
I'll take me, and I'm taking the Chargers. I thought the Ravens played an incredibly sloppy game on Monday night against the Colts. I think the Colts suck. It's a short week. I think Lamar's out there by himself. I think Herbert's a bad boy. I think the Chargers are good. Give me the Chargers plus the points.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I mean, this team has looked unstoppable. Justin Herbert, just when you think that he can't do it, he does it again. And I think I'm also going to take the over on this game. I mean, the Ravens' defense is not that great, and I think that Justin Herbert is going to take advantage of that and throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns, to be honest.
Okay, so just for fun, we will stay noon, CBS. I mean, kind of an ugly game, but it is in the division.
Colts and Texans.
At the Colts. Over under 43.5, pretty low. But the Colts are -10.
Ooh. Now, this is the battle of the 1 and 4s. So this, I feel like, is going to be a very underwhelming game. 10 is a pretty big spread. I'm going to take Texans plus 10. I think it'll probably be like a touchdown, but I think the Colts win.
Caroline Fenton is on crack. Colts -10, and it is not even going to be close. Colts are going to win this
plus
game.
10.
Right. I'm taking Colts -10. Colts are
Okay,
going to win this
you go
game
ahead
by
and do
like
that.
45 points. Give me the Colts.
Okay. Fox, 3:05. This should be a good game. Cardinals going to Cleveland to take on the Browns. We'll see how they do in the weather. Nick Chubb out for the Browns. Over-under on this game, 49.5. Cleveland -3.5.
Give me the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have a better football team. I think Cleveland is good in spots, but I'm going to take Kyler over Baker. I don't know why. I will take the Cardinals on the road in Cleveland. I am totally second-guessing my pick, and I want to change it right now, but I already said Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals +3.
Give me the Browns. I think the Browns are going to win this game, and I understand that Nick Chubb is hurt, but I think that this is going to be the game where Kareem Hunt eats, and I think that he's going to prove himself while he gets that running back 1 slot. So give me the Browns to give the Cardinals their first loss of the season.
Okay, back over to CBS. And 3:25 CBS, our game of the week right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Cowboys at the Patriots. Over-under on this game a little higher than I thought, 50.5. Dallas, also a little bit tricky, only -3, a little bit surprising.
Is that me? Do I go first?
Yes, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take Dallas -3. I thought it would have been at least a touchdown there, so I think that's pretty easy money. I think they get stuff done against the Patriots. I haven't really seen anything against the Patriots that makes me super thrilled or makes me think that they're going to be able to upset the Cowboys. So I'm going to take the Cowboys against the spread.
Upset special, Patriots. I'm going to take them. I already took them against Tampa Bay. I'm going to take them. Give me Belichick over McCarthy. I think that defense holds enough against Dak and Zeke, though I do think the Cowboys are the better team in Foxborough. Give me the Patriots.
Taking Mac over Dak?
Sure. Taking Bill over Mike McCarthy.
Okay, Sunday night football game. I wish Russell Wilson were playing. He has been ruled out. I believe Chris Carson might even be ruled out for the Seahawks as they take on at the Steelers. Sunday night football, NBC. Low over-under on this game, 42.5. But Pittsburgh, only -5.
I will take the game's in Pittsburgh. I'll take the Seahawks +5. It'll be close at the end. I think Pittsburgh will still squeak by, but I just don't really have a lot of respect for Pittsburgh. So I think that Seattle's up here, now they're down here on the level. I can't stand Geno Smith, but I'll take Seattle.
I am going to take Pittsburgh. You are so low on Geno Smith. He threw one interception when he came in for Russell Wilson, and it was 100% Tyler Lockett's fault and not his fault. So I'm going to take the Steelers, especially without Russell Wilson.
All right, that brings us to Monday's game. Monday Night Football, 7:15, ESPN. Bills at the Titans. Over-under on this game is very high, 54. Buffalo -5.5.
I'm going to take Buffalo -5.5. I'm not counting out that Vrabel could pull some Vrabel stuff and the Titans could play the absolute best game of the season, which they're going to have to do to beat the Bills. I'm not counting out that the Titans could absolutely upset the Bills at home, but I just think on every side of the ball, the Bills are a better team. And I think that they have a bit of a revenge tour coming into Nashville after the game last year. So I'm going to take the Bills against the spread as well.
Chris Sanders said that the Bills have circled this game. I'm not sure they've circled it. I don't think they're going to be fat and happy, though, after they beat the Chiefs. I think they're going to be fully aware that if they don't play well, they can lose to the Titans because it happened last year. Bills 33, Titans 14. I don't think this is going to be particularly close. And I think about a lot of the things that we've been complaining about with the Titans, we're going to be complaining about a lot louder on Tuesday. I hate to say it, I'll take Buffalo. That's going to do it for us. We're out of here. Money line coming up next. Chase and Ryan, they'll break it all down for you. Stillman and Company, we'll see you Monday at 2.